But that underscores how many intertwining issues are involved in this sort of replacement of a top U.S. diplomat. The importance of U.S. diplomatic stance on several issues is very important to overall U.S. military policy, and both Tillerson and Pompeo have their pet issues on which they are hawkish and, at other times, more inclined towards reasonable dialogue. While there is a tendency among analysts to try to settle on a specific conclusion of what such a big change means ahead of time, the reality is that the full impact of these changes is going to be impossible to predict for quite some time. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports House Democrats on Monday blocked a Republican-sponsored bill that would have allowed terminally ill patients to try experimental drug treatments that haven't been approved by the FDA. The Right to Try Act failed to get the two-thirds of the House vote it needed to move on to the Senate with a vote of 259 to 140. After the vote, Republicans blasted Democrats for preventing the bill from moving forward. The bill had its share of critics outside of the House chambers who said it failed to address the problems of gaining access to experimental treatments because it did not require the drug companies to allow those treatments to be accessed. Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash has the ability to use both transparent and shielded transactions, with shielded transactions using zero-knowledge proofs. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zensystem.io. That's zensystem.io. Reuters reports a former aide to New York Governor Andrew Cuomo was found guilty by a Manhattan jury on Tuesday of agreeing to take bribes from executives at two companies seeking to do business with the state government. The verdict against Joseph Percoco is the highest-profile federal corruption conviction in New York since the 2015 convictions of two former leading state legislators, which were later overturned. Percoco's lawyers could not immediately be reached for comment. Cuomo, a Democrat, is up for re-election this year, and he has not been charged with any wrongdoing. Percoco was indicted on bribery and conspiracy charges in November 2016. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
McDonald's is now offering bereavement prices, and a sexual predator gets tenure. This is the Onion Week in Review. This Wednesday, Samsung announced the release of its brand new really big television. Representatives for the South Korean electronics manufacturer told reporters at a press conference that the goddamn gargantuan of an electronics product boasted a variety of new features, including being super heavy and having a screen that was probably 100 inches wide for all they knew.
We here at Samsung think this new product will appeal to today's consumers who are looking for a television that's really, really huge. I mean, this thing is built like a Mack truck. You just really have to see it to believe it.
In other news, an important decision is sent up to the company's highest idiot. And an area mother doesn't see why Thai people need to make food so spicy. Today's Onion Review was sponsored by Bamboo Garden, voted the best family-owned Chinese restaurant in Idaho for 5 years running.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live. This is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up anything that you want. All you have to do is dial in toll-free here to join us. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. In the studio with you tonight, it's Ian.
And Darryl.
Lots of stuff in the news to talk about, including apparently a 100% fatal procedure to upload your brain. We can talk about that. And this has been a great week for interesting headlines that we'll probably never get a chance to talk about just because of the way the show goes, but because you can call in about anything you want. But apparently Netflix is also now looking at getting into the TV news business. So they've been dominating in dramatic productions in recent years, basically topping all of the mainstream networks easily, essentially, by being able to do whatever it is that they want to and buy all kinds of old properties up. Now they're looking at doing news production. So we can talk about many things tonight here, and you can join us at 855-450 free.
Now, you've got me curious about this Netflix news thing.
We can talk about that now and save Venezuela
since
updates
you mentioned
for later.
Let's talk about it.
All right. Fair enough. Here's the story from Market Watch. Lord Andrew Adonis, a former UK cabinet minister and academic, is one of the most vociferous, high-profile proponents of Brexit. Recently, he took the issue on Twitter with a coverage from the BBC of Britain's protracted departure from the European Union and pleaded for Netflix to set up a sharp, balanced news service. While Netflix won't be setting up a news service anytime soon, the streaming service is in the early stages of developing what it hopes will be a, quote, sharp, balanced, unquote, news show. A television executive who recently collaborated with Netflix on a documentary series said the streaming giant is planning a weekly news magazine show to rival long-standing network shows as CBS's 60 Minutes or ABC's 2020. So we're not talking about nightly news necessarily.
Right, that's what I was thinking. When you had mentioned, newscast, okay, they're going to be doing, like 6 o'clock news on Netflix.
Well, something on Netflix probably. Do they do live streaming? I guess they could, right? They've got the infrastructure to do streaming.
In theory, they could.
Yeah. So I suppose they could do something like that, which would be interesting to see Netflix get into the world where they're actually producing something at a specific time. Whereas instead, normally what they do is produce a whole series and then release the entire series at once when it comes to dramatic series.
At a specific time. It gets released at midnight.
Good point. So,
now, one thing that I think would be funny if they had the guy do the old-timey radio voice and then played the little newsreel things before TV shows or movies that you were about to watch.
Oh, that would be interesting. It probably would
this
piss
week,
too many people off.
Dateline, Washington, D.C., Donald Trump, blah-da-da-da-da.
If it wasn't optional, it would probably make people angry.
But if it's, like a 30-second, 1-minute little newsreel sort of thing.
That's cool. It would be funny to bring that back. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, like Hulu. You pay for that, but they have commercials in the middle of the shows.
Wait, if you pay for Hulu, they show you commercials?
Yeah.
What a scam. The whole point is to get rid of the commercials by paying for a service
that was the original thing of cable television, no commercials. And now there's all kinds of commercials. Yeah, you were paying for it.
Yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, okay.
You're paying for television.
Yeah, okay. I guess I see what you're saying there, but I don't.
There were not supposed to be commercials on cable.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. See, I wasn't even basically born when cable came out, so I don't remember the pitch for cable back then. But
the pitch was you paid, you get all of these extra channels, and because you're paying, there are no commercials.
So this is all according to a television executive. They're not actually able to get Netflix to comment on the story. The person said on a condition of anonymity, quote, Netflix has spotted a hole in the market for a current affairs TV show encompassing both sides of the political divide and are seeking to fill it. They said the streaming giant initially eschewed news coverage in favor of commissioning drama, comedy, and documentaries, but lately it's been on a current affairs talk show buying frenzy, signing up comedians David Letterman, Joel McHale, Hassan Minhaj, Michelle Wolf, and Norm Macdonald. I've only heard of David Letterman in that group
Norm
of people.
Macdonald used to be on Saturday Night Live a long time ago.
To present programs that will be significantly devoted to satirizing the news. But Netflix is also on the lookout for a less irreverent and comedic take on the news. Last week, it was revealed they were reportedly in advanced negotiations with former President Barack Obama to produce a series of high-profile shows. They're expected to spend roughly $8 billion on content in 2018 to fund 700 shows and films. Now, I wonder, how does that compare to the average network's stable of shows? I don't imagine a large network has more than a dozen or so shows every single year as far as their dramatic productions go.
Well, I don't think they are saying there are going to be 700 different titles. So this TV show has 20 episodes.
Yeah.
That's 20 shows.
Yeah.
This show has 10.
You're probably right.
10 more shows.
Still, that's a huge amount of content that they are cranking out.
Oh, it's a lot of content. I'm not trying to deny that, but the way they're presenting the number, it makes it sound like it's a lot more than what it is. Because most people are thinking, wow, they're coming out with 700 titles.
Right, those aren't 700 different intellectual properties. Those are 700 episodes is what you're saying. And you're probably right about that. They rising to $8 billion on content in 2018. They're planning on spending $12.2 billion, so 50% more in just 2 more years in 2020. While news magazine shows have been eclipsed by reality TV in recent years, with the news cycle becoming ever more partisan and frenzied under Trump, the streaming service hopes they can revive the genre. The source says, quote, Netflix are proceeding with caution over this because they're well aware that most new current affairs shows underwhelm and are expensive. They want to make their show economically viable without compromising the production costs and news gathering operation.
Now, one thing that they mentioned earlier that I want to go back to where they said, we're going to present both sides of an issue. They're still going to be buying into this. There's only left and right.
That paradigm, sure.
If they really wanted to do something interesting and that's not been done that I'm aware of in a news show, they should take a cue from the sports talk show on ESPN called Around the Horn, to where they have the host and then they have 4 different people that represent, several different ideas instead of just, here's a guy from the Republicans, here's a guy from the Democrats.
Well, didn't Bill Maher do that with his show a long time ago? Politically Incorrect, I think was what it was called.
He didn't have, a bunch of different panelists. He would just
4 different panelists on, yeah.
Oh, okay. Whenever I saw it, it was just like him talking to a guest.
No, that must have been some other show that he did. But there was a show that he did for years. I forget which network it was on, but it was that exact thing that you were describing with different panelists with different opinions.
Okay.
He had like Penn Jillette on a few times and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I know that he would claim to be a libertarian, but then one time he was asked, what's your ideal political party? And he described the Green Party platform.
You're talking about Bill Maher.
Bill Maher.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so his version of politically incorrect is just, big government.
Obviously, Darryl, you're
while throwing around the word libertarian.
Yeah, I mean, you're extrapolating what's going to end up happening from what this anonymous source is sort of revealing. We don't know what Netflix is going to actually
and they don't even know what they're
release.
going to do because right now it's just something being talked about in a boardroom maybe.
Right. It may turn out to be fairly balanced. It may turn out to have, a different skew than we're expecting. So I think it's great news. I think that Netflix is a real success story, aren't they? They started in the mid to late 1990s as a DVD distribution by mail operation. They quickly crushed Blockbuster, basically out of business, as well as there were a few other competitors in the DVD by mail distribution world, and they all ended up going out of business. Netflix just dominated that area. They then got into streaming once bandwidth became possible, to do that, and they just have this huge streaming platform with significant chunk of the internet bandwidth that's used by them, as I understand it. And then, of course, because they've become so popular for delivery of content, they have over 100 million viewers or something ridiculous like that. It's an insane amount of people, and they've basically surpassed, I believe, don't quote me on this, but the revenues of major studios at this point.
117.5 million customers worldwide.
Yep. And I think they've got a good 30 million of that at least in the United States, if not 50 or so. There's a lot of them in the U.S. Toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. We can continue. You can share your thoughts on Free Talk Live.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
You've heard of Bitcoin Cash, but did you know there's now a Bitcoin Cash wallet? The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core wallet that allows you to send and receive either currency with anyone, anywhere in the world. The Bitcoin.com wallet supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. Learn more at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
I've said it many times on air, and I'll say it here. The New Hampshire Liberty Alliance is one of the most important organizations for freedom in the world. New Hampshire is ground zero for freedom, and the NHLA is the best organization at promoting effective liberty activism. This ad is sponsored by Free Talk Live, and I, Mark Edge, am a lifetime member because I believe in the NHLA. Please check them out at nhliberty.org. Not everyone can move right now, but you can support the cause. Donate top cryptocurrencies or old-fashioned U.S. dollars, nhliberty.org. Visit their website and see what they're all about, nhliberty.org.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
If you're looking for work, it's a process of elimination, and you're trying not to be eliminated. So here's a tip for making the cut, and this might seem subtle, but to the person interviewing you, it's not. There is a world of difference between applicants who convey, "I need a job," and those who simply ooze, "I want to work," especially in these lean times when many you're competing with will seem desperate in "I'll take anything" mode. If you convey specific interest in this job at this company, you will be conspicuous. Thus, the value of going to school on the company you're applying to before the interview. With money and attention so tight now, effective communication skills have never been more important. For more tips for job seekers and everyone else, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media, and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free, at apps.lrn.fm.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want and dial toll-free here at 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Joining you in the studio tonight, you've got Ian.
And Darryl.
And, of course, well, actually, we're going to talk a little bit about the latest on Venezuela coming up here in a moment. But we actually started with the story about Netflix that is appearing that it looks like they're going to start their own news show. And we don't know what the timetable is on this. This is an anonymous comment being given to MarketWatch by somebody who is a television executive, claims to have been consulting with Netflix on this very subject. So that's interesting because, as we were commenting before, Netflix has turned into a media juggernaut. It is the thing that, like, when you hear people talking, or at least when I do, maybe, Darryl, this is your experience as well, but when you hear people talking about pop culture, right, when they talk about their favorite television shows, their favorite shows that they're watching.
Oh, like the Stranger Thing.
That's one I've heard of.
Yeah, that's all I know.
Like.
I've heard of it.
There's the one you really like, right?
Black Mirror.
Black Mirror. So whenever I hear people talking about television shows, almost without exception, and there are some exceptions, but it seems like they're Netflix. Like if I ask, what's that? Oh, it's a Netflix show. Oh,
right.
Wow. So a lot of people subscribe. In fact, pulled up the subscriber numbers. It was over 100 million, 115 or so million?
117.5 million worldwide.
Over 50 million of that is in the United States, according to some recent numbers. And we can continue to talk about sort of the phenomenon that is Netflix here, because there's some other interesting related news.
I'm curious how many people that aren't cord cutters have Netflix. Because I know that the crowd that we hang around with, if you will,
more likely
tend to be cord cutters.
Yeah, that's true. Good question. Let's go first, though, to Tom. He's in Nashua, New Hampshire, listening online at freetalklive.com. Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody at the donut shop about how, we've been rather long line. They're keeping people waiting for a long time, and I suspected that it's because it's, there's a much lower unemployment now than there was like 2 years ago, and unemployment seems to be going down, at least in this area. And
what's the line at the donut shop have to do with unemployment? I'm sorry, maybe I missed the connection there.
Well, people quit, and it's hard to keep good help, and because you have to pay them more and more. When unemployment goes down, I suspect that the donut shop people are in denial about having to raise wages, the cost of labor.
Hold on, are you saying that there's unemployment, and so therefore the donut shop has worse clerks?
No, he's saying that the donut shop is understaffed and there's not enough people to work at the donut shop because unemployment is low.
But unemployment's low. I'm sorry, I missed that. Okay.
Now, what I'm getting at here is
so what kind of donut were you wanting to buy from the donut shop? That's the really important question.
Anyway,
hey,
people.
I'm curious now too. What's your favorite kind of donut?
I don't have a favorite donut.
Really?
But anyway, they have the unemployment level keeps going down, and it's hard. Wages have to keep going up in order to make up for it. But then what happens? When the cost goes down, then you got to trim people's wages. And the polite way to do that, since it seems nasty to say, okay, you're making $13 an hour, we're going to slash your wage down to $10 an hour, is...
I don't think the people at the donut shop are making $13 an hour.
But nonetheless, if you did tell somebody they had to take a huge pay cut like that, there's a good chance they're going to walk out the door.
Yes.
Now, what I'm getting at is you tell the base rate is, let's say, $10 an hour, but we're offering a $3 an hour labor shortage premium. And, of course, you would have to multiply that by time and a half if they work over 40 hours, because it's really part of the base rate. It's just a cosmetic way of describing why you're making so much more. And then when the unemployment rate goes back up again, because the price of labor has to fluctuate just like the price of oil and the price of gold and everything else. It's going to be going up and down.
It goes a lot slower. I mean, the price of labor changes a lot slower than the prices of products, because you can't just F around with somebody.
Well, the price of oil and gold changes constantly throughout the day.
Right. Whereas people who are working somewhere get a review after 90 days, maybe another review after a year
6 months,
or 6 months or something like that. And most of the time they expect that they're going to go up in price, not down.
And most of the time, the jobs that I've had, in the last 15 years that have been W-2 jobs, when I got hired, here's the rate of proposed pay raises. As long as you get a good performance review, you will get these rates. So I knew after 6 months, I get another 50 cents. After a year, I get another 48 cents or whatever, because it was all based off of percentages.
And it's certainly true that labor costs could go down over time. I mean, in the radio business, we've seen this happen. We've seen radio companies that are doing very poorly basically come in and tell their staff, hey, if you really love radio, we'd love for you to stay with us, but you're going to have to take a 10% pay cut.
Right.
Or a 5% pay cut or something like that.
What I'm getting at is you call it a labor shortage premium, so that when the unemployment rate goes back up again, then you trim that premium or you remove that premium, but you don't cut their base rate, and that's a polite marketing way of doing that. And by the way,
I see what you're saying. You're saying you would do that to them in advance. You would inform the employee that, hey, the base rate for this job is $10, but you're going to get a premium during good times of $3 per hour. But beware, we could cut it back. If you're doing that, I think in advance, and the employee or potential employee knows what to expect, then I think that's a more fair way to approach it. So I agree with you
I think you've got a better idea or a better shot of getting this idea passed if you actually call the CEO of the donut shop instead of calling the radio show.
Well, I mean, I'm glad he called because it's worth talking about.
Right, it's an interesting conversation. But he's telling us that we need to implement something.
Well, we
can't implement something.
We don't have the same kind of labor costs here.
We can't tell the person at Dunkin' Donuts that their pay is being manipulated.
Well, plus, actually, here the co-hosts are essentially volunteers who get kind of a bonus. We've been recently throwing them a stipend to come in here just because we appreciate what they do. But ultimately, it's not an employee-employer situation here. And no, Darryl, you can't just call the CEO of Dunkin' Donuts up. If you could, then I'd be on the phone with him tomorrow to pitch him on taking Bitcoin or something like that. These people have gatekeepers for a reason.
Oh, I know that.
To keep people like Tom from that's the reason why people like Tom call Free Talk Live, because we don't have a gatekeeper.
Right.
And you can call in. There's no gate here. There is a call screener. He will ask you your name, where you're calling from, and in like one word what you want to talk about.
And it doesn't even have to be an actual name.
No, you can name yourself whatever it is you want here on Free Talk Live.
Who's the guy, Cobra Commander, that used to call in?
Long. It's been way too long. We don't know what happened to him after the 2012 campaign when he was running for president. He didn't show in the 2016 elections. We never heard from him during that time frame, I don't believe. So maybe someday we will hear from Cobra Commander again. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. A little bit more coming up about Netflix, just the interesting details about that particular company and its rise to prominence in so many people's lives. 50 million Americans are subscribers, and I presume that's you might as well count that as 50 million households, right? I mean, the odds are there's probably...
Right, because you can share an account with, I think it's like 3 or 4 people in a house.
So how many Americans are what's the pass-around rate, if you will, of a Netflix subscription as far as how many people are affected by one subscription? It's Free Talk Live.
Fully cooked, ready-to-eat bacon. I'm talking thick, meaty, center-cut presidential bacon. Savory and delicious. I buy some, I use some, I store some. Awesome. No refrigeration needed with a 10-year shelf life. NASA-packed technology. Bacon. Fully cooked, fully hydrated, ready to eat right from the packed bacon, or warm and served. Life-saving, ready-to-eat bacon. 10-year shelf life bacon. Ships free at fullycookedbacon.com. Fullycookedbacon.com.
It's a no-brainer. A Big Berkey water filter is the one you need, period. You need a water filter that removes chlorine, fluoride, pharmaceuticals, BPA, and other endocrine disruptors, pesticides, bacteria, viruses, and much more, right? And does it all at only 2 cents per gallon. Get the original and most trusted name in gravity water filtration, Big Berkey. And now GCN listeners receive 5% off ceramic filter systems using code GCN. Call or click 1-877-99-BERKEY or BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY.
Free Talk Live.
They have satellite image pictures of cities on the moon.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
That's a load of garbage. I've never heard of any such thing. A quick Google search would reveal whatever these lame-o pictures are supposed to be, which, of course, you yourself have never done, right? You've never seen these alleged photos, correct?
No, but it's actually the...
Why would you go around saying that there are pictures of cities on the moon if you yourself have never seen them?
Well, because I heard it on a late night, 2 o'clock in the morning when I used to have that show here.
Yeah, you're talking about the overnight kook show?
Coast to Coast.
Coast to Coast?
Yeah, they banned that show 5 years ago.
No, they didn't.
I used to stay up.
Who's they?
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in Liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up what you want toll free here. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. With you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Darryl.
Don't forget, you can also join us on our Discord. There's a chat room going on right now with Free Talk Live listeners in there. But there's also the on-air call-in line room on the Discord. There's multiple different rooms. And if you want to get on the air with us, join that call-in line room over at discord.lrn.fm. That's again discord.lrn.fm. Also online, bitcoin.com. You want to go there to learn about Bitcoin. If you are new to the world of Bitcoin, it's not too late, even though it's been around for 9 years. We're still in the very beginning phases of this cryptocurrency evolution that has been happening, and you can learn the basics over at bitcoin.com. Learn how to get Bitcoin, learn about wallets, and learn what you need to know. But also, if you're not new to Bitcoin and you want the latest news headlines, just go to news.bitcoin.com, and you can get those there every single day. That's news.bitcoin.com. As we continue with your calls and thoughts, more on the media coming up here. Not only news about Netflix, but also YouTube cracking down on conspiracy videos, apparently. It's Ian and Darryl here. Let's go first, though, to Harry in Lewistown, Pennsylvania. He is watching us on Twitch at twitch.lrn.fm. Hey, Harry, go ahead.
All right, yeah, so I just wanted to talk about the new, what was it? The gun control, the walkout on the
Huh? Hello?
Hello?
Okay. Guess he had some trouble there. The walkout, which I presume he's talking about, students, a headline from NBCnews.com, students demand action on gun violence with nationwide walkout. Parkland, Florida, they solemnly spilled onto the high school football field, holding signs protesting gun violence and wearing shirts that read, "March for Our Lives." They waved at a crowd of onlookers who had gathered to show support. Exactly 1 month after 17 people were killed at the high school in Parkland that we reported on previously, survivors of the massacre joined tens of thousands of students across the United States by walking out of school this morning. So I presume those are the walkouts that particular caller was discussing. They were held at 10 a.m. local time in each time zone and lasted 17 minutes, 1 minute for each of the Parkland victims. Organizers said the purpose was to highlight Congress's inaction against gun violence plaguing our schools and neighborhoods. Your thoughts, Darryl?
I saw something on Twitter where somebody was claiming to be a high school student somewhere, and they said that they were being forced to walk out. And it was basically a statement of, like, don't believe that this is actually student-led. Now, whether or not that's accurate across the country, if it was accurate only at his school. I saw another report. There was some school where students were threatened with suspension if they walked out, and only one student got up and walked out of the classroom.
Interesting. If you are in high school and you're listening tonight and you saw something happen today or did not see anything happen today with this supposed walkout, you're welcome to call in toll-free at 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. It's not like they're missing anything in school, so, might as well do a walkout. It's not like anything is really that important that's going on there. Of course, it's not going to really do anything. What's the old saying from, I think it was the Reagan administration? I'm forgetting the name of the character that said it, but something like, let them protest so long as they pay their taxes.
Right.
So ultimately, the government, they don't care about you walking out of their school classrooms. And, we know it's not going to be prolonged. Right? This is a one-time 17-minute long thing. And even if they did it once a week, it still wouldn't really impact their education whatsoever. Because, a lot of times you're just screwing off in class, and or there's no real important curriculum, or it's just straight up indoctrination or whatever. It's just essentially a glorified babysitting service for 8 hours a day or however long the school day is these days. So if you want to comment, though, you're welcome to. And again, if you witnessed something or didn't witness anything, you want to share what the situation was like in your school, our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, or you can call us on Skype at Skype username LRN.FM. And then there's also the Discord at discord.lrn.fm. So we were talking about Netflix, which is something that I think a lot of people can relate to, given that 50 million plus households, I'm going to say households, 50 million subscribers. There are probably some households where you've got maybe some, singles or couples living in the same household. Maybe they both have their own Netflix subscription. But I bet you a good chunk of those 50 million subscribers are one subscriber for an entire household, and you'll have a family underneath that person. And so you're probably looking at maybe I'm speculating here, 2 to 4 people that can sort of take advantage on average, a Netflix subscription. Which, of course, if it were, let's just be conservative and say 2, then you're talking about 100 million people that are kind of touched by those 50 million subscriptions. And you're talking about basically a third of the population of the United States, which is huge. That's a lot of people. So not only have they been incredibly successful from a revenue standpoint, because they had so many years where their only costs were shipping houses. They have shipping factories or whatever in different locations around the United States.
Now, hold on. I'm curious here. Of these 54 million Netflix customers in the United States, how many of them are like you to where they'd still do the I get a DVD a year?
That's a good question. I don't know if they give out public information like that. I don't think they're a publicly owned company, but I could be wrong. Maybe they are. No, I think I've seen the stock numbers for them, so they must be public. I wonder if they give out that information to see.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Because it used to be
also trying to figure out, roughly how many people wind up using a Netflix thing, because
using the service that they've purchased. You mean?
No. So, like you were saying, that sometimes there's 3 people that live in the house and they share a Netflix.
Isn't that where the term Netflix and chill came from? Where people will get together, or couples or whatever, and they will watch Netflix together, sort of like families or whatever used to watch television.
That's
together?
not what Netflix and chill means.
No? Okay, what does it mean?
Let's turn on Netflix and then make out and go have sex.
Oh, so chilling now means having sex. Okay, all right, that's news to me.
So no, Ian, I will not Netflix and chill with you after the show.
Good thing I didn't invite you to then.
Yes.
Because I only have one movie anyway that we could watch.
What's the
I have
movie?
the old DVD. I don't even know. I've had it so long I don't remember what it is.
Now, here's something
Blu-ray.
interesting that I did find. Netflix users collectively watched 1 billion hours of content per week in 2017.
That's insane.
Yeah. That's a lot.
So, yeah, I mean, just the success has been amazing. And I was a subscriber long time back. Back when they first introduced the streaming, if I recall correctly, they actually gave you both. So if you were a subscriber, you had the streaming access and the DVD access, and then eventually they split them into 2 websites and said, all right, well, if you want the streaming, you can subscribe to the streaming. If you want the DVD, you can subscribe to that, but they're separate subscriptions, and they basically cost the same amount as the 2 together did. So that was essentially a fairly large price increase at that point because they were dropping the extra level of service off. But, they've done an amazing job and have resulted in an incredible catalog of productions that I think somebody ran the numbers and found how difficult it would be if you actually wanted to watch every single hour of the Netflix programs that they generate every year.
It would be impossible.
It would be very difficult, to do that. We can continue your calls and thoughts here. Folks want to comment on these school walkouts, so we're going to do that coming up here next. Your calls are welcome at 855-450 free like freedom. I think that's pretty much all we have to say on Netflix. I hope that they are able to produce that news content. Well, it'd be interesting to see what kind of skew Netflix has, if it's easily identifiable or if they kind of keep it journalistic.
Ooh, I wonder if they'll be kind of like PBS, to where it's, more of a journalistic style instead of just some sort of flash and glamour.
But without the government funding. 855-450 free like freedom. You join us on the radio or online. This is Free Talk Live.
I've said it many times on air, and I'll say it here. The New Hampshire Liberty Alliance is one of the most important organizations for freedom in the world. New Hampshire is ground zero for freedom, and the NHLA is the best organization at promoting effective liberty activism. This ad is sponsored by Free Talk Live, and I, Mark Edge, am a lifetime member because I believe in the NHLA. Please check them out at nhliberty.org. Not everyone can move right now, but you can support the cause. Donate top cryptocurrencies or old-fashioned U.S. dollars, nhliberty.org. Visit their website and see what they're all about, nhliberty.org.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core wallet that allows you to send and receive either currency with anyone, anywhere in the world. The Bitcoin.com wallet supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. Download the Bitcoin.com wallet for easy and secure access to your Bitcoin Core and your Bitcoin Cash. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. Learn more at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees, ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
Hi, I'm Derek J. To me, an activist's calling is to actively work to advance a cause. The cause for which I work is personal freedom. I believe my life is best when I engage in voluntary interactions and self-government. I reject the idea that anyone else has a higher claim to my life or my body than I do. I see people who call themselves the government as a threat to my personal freedom. I realize you may feel differently, but my relationship with the people who call themselves the government is completely involuntary. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you're helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Free Talk Live, dial toll-free, and join us on the radio here. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. It's 855-450-3733, and the Skype username for you is LRN.FM. Plus, you can join us on the on-air call-in line room of our Discord over at discord.lrn.fm. It's Ian and Darryl in the studio here tonight, and I was happy to see that the $6 shirts that we had ordered have arrived.
Yes, yes, they have, and I'm wearing mine.
Yours is T-Rex hates push-ups. Very
because
cute.
he's got the little arms.
I don't know if
and he can't do push-ups.
Yeah.
There was another one that I thought about getting that said T-Rex also hates pull-ups, and it showed him trying to reach the pull-up bar. But the other one that I got says beast mode.
Right on. So, yeah, there you go. There's Darryl's shirt on the cam over at cam.freetalklive.com. $6 shirts. I got mine with the Snake Plissken silhouette, basically. For those that are unfamiliar with the character, he is the main character in Escape from New York and Escape from Los Angeles.
That's
the John
Kurt
Carpenter.
Russell.
It's correct. Kurt Russell with an eye patch, basically. So it's like super badass Kurt Russell. Anyway, great movies. The shirts I got are kind of like movie related shirts.
Okay.
But they've got I got another one that's the Fifth Element that shows the 5 elements.
Yeah.
And so that's what I was motivated to get. They've also got some kind of political shirts. They've got some just straight up funny shirts. They've got like I said, movie related shirts, pop culture related shirts, video gaming related shirts.
Yeah, I also have a shirt that I purchased a while back that's a Hitchhiker Guide to the Galaxy reference where it just says, "Don't panic."
A lot of people will get that one for sure. $6 shirts, they've got a gigantic selection. I mean, that is not an exaggeration. It is a huge selection of witty and clever shirts that'll make you the most exciting person in your social group. I don't know if they guarantee that, but they are cheap. So you get it for $6, and some of them are a little bit more expensive, but you can also batch them up and save even more over at $6shirts.com. Once again,
they also have hoodies and tank tops.
Oh, good to know.
That are different prices as well.
Of course, you can't get it. Ain't nobody going to sell you a hoodie for $6.
Right.
So $6shirts.com. Go there, check them out, and they do support Free Talk Live, by the way. Thank you. There's new information here. If you want to save 10% off, and why wouldn't you, use code FTL. That's code FTL, like Free Talk Live, at $6shirts. That's the number $6shirts.com. Let's continue with your calls and thoughts. Neo is calling from Golden Shores, Arizona, listening to K-Talks. Hello, Neo.
Hello, guys.
Hi there.
Nice. I'd like to talk to you about these school walkouts again.
Yeah, sure.
Personally, I do not believe that these children really understand what it is they're trying to do with our constitutional rights in our country. But what's taken me off even more is in a lot of schools, and I know one close here by me in Laughlin, Arizona, the high school, when the kids didn't want to participate in it, they scheduled a fire drill. right at the same time and forced all of the kids out into the school, out into the field,
really?
to make it look like they were participating in the walkout. And that went on in a lot of places. So I think that the schools or the principals or the school boards or the city government has an agenda to make it look like more people are taking part in this walkout than really want
Hold
to
on.
be.
So let me propose an alternate theory here. Couldn't it be that they scheduled the fire drill that way, you sort of make sure that nobody's walking out of anything important?
No. I mean, come on.
I don't believe so. I really don't. They want everybody out there to look like the whole school is united in this walkout.
Now, did you say this
why were principals at schools across the country threatening to suspend kids if
he's saying this was one school? He's saying this was one school.
That was a very few schools where the kids were threatened, but I mean, be honest.
Right,
I mean,
but if it's the globalist or whoever the they is want all of this to happen, then it's going to happen at every school.
Neil, were you saying this happened just in Golden Shores or that you'd heard this happened elsewhere?
It didn't happen in Golden Shores. We don't have a high school here. It happened right across the river from me in Laughlin, Nevada. And I've also heard on Facebook it's happened at a lot of other schools where they forced the entire student body.
So this is hearsay. So you heard from somebody and then heard on Facebook. You don't know for sure.
I live right here by Laughlin, so I know that one happened.
Right, but the claim is that there's some group somewhere that is trying to make it appear as though all of these students are actually protesting when they could be forced to go protest. That's the claim, right?
Well, in some places this is going on at. I'm not saying at every school that was the case, but in some schools that is the case.
I find it plausible what you're saying here. I mean, certainly somebody who has a political agenda, and you better believe that the school teachers and the administrators have agendas. They may have different agendas because they're individuals, but somebody who has a specific agenda, who does want these walkouts to appear more successful, could very well use their power to schedule such a thing. I don't find that unbelievable. I do find it becoming a little more unbelievable that there will be somebody pulling the strings at the top.
Right, it's like George Soros is giving all of these school teachers money to make your students go walk out.
No, I don't buy that. But Neil, thanks for bringing that story up. I appreciate it.
Can I bring up one more point?
Sure. Yep.
Okay, I'm sure by now you guys have heard about the school teacher in California that accidentally discharged a firearm and hit 3 kids.
No, I didn't hear about that.
I saw a headline about some kind of discharge of a firearm, but I didn't know it was California.
What happened there?
And I guess he was giving a class on firearm safety. And my point is, everybody's yelling that teachers aren't qualified to handle firearms, that cops are more well-trained. This teacher was a cop. He was a reserve police officer that works as a teacher on his off time.
Wow.
Reminds me of the video of the gun instructor saying nobody in this room is qualified to handle these firearms, and he goes to put it in his holster
and he shoots himself,
and he pulls the trigger and shoots himself in his leg.
That one's funny because he only hurts himself. In this case, it does appear that some of the students were injured, so it's not as funny, not funny at all. Hey, Neo, thanks for sharing the story. I appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. But yeah, that it's a classic for sure. And he was DEA, if I recall correctly.
Okay, I just recall he was, some kind of gun instructor.
Yep. Acting like he knew everything and then shoots himself. Let's continue.
I'm the only one qualified to handle this.
Richard is on the line in New Oxford, Pennsylvania, watching us on Twitch, twitch.lrn.fm. Hello, Richard. Hello, Richard. Going once. Richard, you got to talk right into your phone, man. We can't hear you. Going once.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're going to have to take it off speakerphone, man.
And also listen to the phone. Don't try listening to Twitch because that's not going to be, anything.
It'll be confusing. Yeah, for sure.
That makes any sense.
We hear you now.
Yes.
We hear you now. Yes, sir. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Now, what do you guys think about giving teachers guns, like training the teachers and giving them guns?
I don't think anybody should be given a gun who doesn't want a gun. I think that if a teacher is a gun, they're into guns and they have already done their own training, or they would like to seek training, that they individually should be allowed to do something like that. But nobody should be given a gun that doesn't want to have
I don't like the idea of government running schools.
Thanks for the call. Well, right. Yes, I agree with you there, Darryl. And certainly a private school could make a decision to say they don't want their teachers to have guns at all.
Right.
Or they could allow teachers to have guns if they wanted. I think it would be a terrible idea to force all teachers at a school to be armed if they didn't want to be. So it kind of reminds me of the old story at, Kennesaw, Georgia, that at one time actually passed some kind of town ordinance requiring everybody to carry a gun or own a gun.
There was some kind of opt-out if you had some kind of objection to owning a firearm.
I see. Because, you don't want to force somebody into a situation that's uncomfortable for them against their will. But ultimately, if indeed there is a right to bear arms, and there should be, in my opinion, then individuals working for the government should also have a right to bear arms, specifically these teachers who may want to have them to protect themselves and their students. And if there were more guns in school, then there would be much less likelihood, in my opinion, of people being shot up in mass numbers because nobody is around to defend anyone.
Right.
Except, the only person with a gun on campus legally is generally the school resource officer.
Who's hiding on the other side of the car.
And he's not obligated to protect anybody. You may think that the police are obligated, but I'm sorry, they're not. You can do a quick Google search of no obligation to protect, and you will find multiple court cases from the Supreme Court in the United States that make it crystal clear that the police, nor any other government agency, has any obligation whatsoever to provide you with any services, especially not that service of protection, which of course means that the whole idea that you're a citizen is completely invalidated, because citizen is somebody who exchanges a duty of allegiance in return for an obligation of protection, but there is no obligation.
I tried other brands, but I came back to my Sunshine.
For the best hot or cold pain relief, get the best. Get a Sunny Bay heating pad.
Sometimes life can be a pain in the neck or back or shoulder.
And the best relief for that pain is a Sunny Bay heating pad. Did you know that the American College of Physicians said that one of the best ways to treat muscle pain is heat therapy? Sunny Bay heating pads are handmade with high quality, can be used at home or at work, and have a lifetime 100% positive rating on both Amazon and Etsy.
Why take another pill?
Many people use our Sunny Bay heating pads alone and got rid of the neck pain.
Long distance travel or long hours in front of a computer can take its toll on your body.
See why our homegrown small business at sunny-bay.com has tried to help people just like you. Get your Sunny Bay heating pads at sunny-bay.com. That's sunny-bay.com, or call 253-678-1361 for hot and cold therapy. sunny-bay.com.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, March 14th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.60 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,326 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $20, and the average price of Bitcoin is $8,695. Antiwar.com reports after months of speculation that such a move was coming had all but died down, President Trump made a surprise move on Tuesday announcing the firing of Secretary of State Rex Tillerson. The announcement was made via Twitter, and Tillerson reportedly found out on Twitter. Trump said of the firing that he and Tillerson had different mindsets. Trump intends to replace him with CIA Director Mike Pompeo, about whom he said, "We have a similar thought process." The move is raising a lot of questions as to why. Indications are that the immediate cause was that Tillerson endorsed the idea that Russia was behind the poisoning of an ex-spy in Britain after the White House had already said they weren't going to accuse Russia for the incident. Tillerson did not just contradict the White House, but reporters said he made several other on-the-record comments about Russia during the flight back to the U.S. from his trip to Africa. Pompeo is seen as much less hostile towards Russia, and this is believed to be the driving force for the sacking. Not that it was a single-issue move, with Representative Nancy Pelosi of California going so far as to claim that Trump effectively fired Tillerson at the behest of Russian President Vladimir Putin. The change sets the stage for a State Department that's a bit more friendly towards Russia, however. But of course, that's not the only change. Pompeo and Tillerson differed on a lot of issues. Pompeo, in particular, is seen as very hawkish on Iran, which is leading the Israeli press to conclude that the Netanyahu government will be happy with the change. Pompeo is also seen as a lot more critical towards North Korea, as Tillerson was long inclined to diplomacy, earning multiple rebukes for it. With Trump heading towards direct talks with North Korea's Kim Jong-un, it's a bit surprising that Pompeo will be taking Tillerson's place, but that underscores how many intertwining issues are involved in this sort of replacement of a top U.S. diplomat. The importance of U.S. diplomatic stance on several issues is very important to overall U.S. military policy, and both Tillerson and Pompeo have their pet issues on which they are hawkish and at other times more inclined towards reasonable dialogue. While there is a tendency among analysts to try to settle on a specific conclusion of what such a big change means ahead of time, the reality is that the full impact of these changes is going to be impossible to predict for quite some time. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports House Democrats on Monday blocked a Republican-sponsored bill that would have allowed terminally ill patients to try experimental drug treatments that haven't been approved by the FDA. The Right to Try Act failed to get the two-thirds of the House vote it needed to move on to the Senate with a vote of 259 to 140. After the vote, Republicans blasted Democrats for preventing the bill from moving forward. The bill had its share of critics outside of the House chambers who said it failed to address the problems of gaining access to experimental treatments because it did not require the drug companies to allow those treatments to be accessed. Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash has the ability to use both transparent and shielded transactions, with shielded transactions using zero-knowledge proofs. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zensystem.io. That's zensystem.io. Reuters reports a former aide to New York Governor Andrew Cuomo was found guilty by a Manhattan jury on Tuesday of agreeing to take bribes from executives at two companies seeking to do business with the state government. The verdict against Joseph Percoco is the highest profile federal corruption conviction in New York since the 2015 convictions of two former leading state legislators, which were later overturned. Percoco's lawyers could not immediately be reached for comment. Cuomo, a Democrat, is up for re-election this year, and he has not been charged with any wrongdoing. Percoco was indicted on bribery and conspiracy charges in November 2016. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
On June 4th, 1919, a group of bold, passionate men took it upon themselves to pass the Women's Suffrage Act, finally granting women the right to vote that they were too frail and helpless to achieve on their own. Having long watched women struggle to stand up for their right to choose elected officials, the strong and capable men decided to intercede and aid their weak female counterparts. And on June 6, 1972, David Bowie's release of his concept album, The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust, kick-started the glam rock genre and led to such spin-off trends as glam medicine, glam sports, and glamcatecture, all culminating in the 1976 presidential glam election. And that was what happened this week in history. In the words of French King John II, history will forever remember the great names of Alexander and Napoleon and Washington. But what about me, John II of France? I did stuff too.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. Dial in toll free here at 855-450. Free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Or you can call us on Skype. The Skype username is lrn.fm. And we've also got Discord. There's a Discord on-air call-in line room, and there's a bunch of other rooms too, over at discord.lrn.fm, so you can join us there if you like. With you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Darryl.
Still to come here this evening, the latest out of Venezuela, some slices of the horrible life that you would be living, likely, if you were living in Venezuela. We'll share some of that with you. Plus, in other international headlines, the Philippines boss man, Rodrigo Duterte.
Yes.
He is withdrawing from the International Criminal Court. And we'll tell you what that means and why he's doing it.
That means he can't be punished for violating human rights.
We'll get into that coming up here in moments. Your calls and thoughts also welcome. In the last hour, we had a young gentleman call. He was one of our Twitch viewers asking about the student walkouts that apparently happened this morning. And we had actually I hadn't heard about it. I saw a headline and looked a little deeper at that point, and there were apparently some coordinated walkouts that supposedly happened this morning. Another caller suggested that there was a bit of a conspiracy theory afoot where he believes that at some schools, apparently, and again, this is from hearsay, so we don't know for sure, but the caller had heard from somebody that there were such walkouts at some schools that actually corresponded with a fire drill that also happened, meaning that the caller believed that the fire drill was scheduled to coincide with the school walkout
to make it appear
larger.
As though everybody was there for the walkout. Right. And I'm just wondering if maybe administration did the fire drill to sort of save face so that officially nobody walked out.
That could be.
Nobody walked out. We had a fire drill. There was not a walkout at this school.
Well, it could very well be, but either way, it would certainly serve the people who wanted to take photos of that particular walkout event, right? Like if it was your role to document the walkout, you definitely want to have everyone there instead of 10% of the classes or 5% or whatever.
Right, and again, there was, I forget which school it was, I think in Connecticut, where the principal had threatened to suspend any student that walked out, and one student walked out.
Right, so that's why I asked, did you have an experience, if you're one of our younger viewers or listeners out there, were you in school today, and did you see anything happen? Or was there basically much ado about nothing? Let's continue here. If you want to join us, you can. Let's talk to William to start. He's in Denver, Colorado, watching us on our Twitch stream at twitch.lrn.fm. Hello, William.
Hello. So, basically, I can speak for my brother about the school walkouts. He's currently in high school. I'm in college.
Okay.
Nothing happened today. I didn't even know about them until I got back.
And he's in a Denver high school?
He is, yes. I do know they did have walkouts. I believe their policy was you can walk out or not. It doesn't really matter.
Hold on. Did he say there was nothing that happened or that there were walkouts that happened? I'm not clear.
There was walkouts at my brother's high school. However, at my college and trade school, it was just a normal day. Everything went on normally.
And did you get any kind of indication from your brother as to the size of the walkouts that occurred?
He said it was a good percentage of the people there. So
now, of course, I remember what it was like in high school. Nobody wanted to be there. So if there was an excuse to,
oh yeah, that's
even if you were
kind of what I expect.
Right. There probably were a bunch of people who don't really feel very strongly about the issue who just joined into the walkout. But yeah, you get out of class. If you do it in large numbers, what are they going to do? Send everyone to detention? I mean, it's just not likely.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that, William. Anything else you want to get out tonight?
Nope, that's it. Thank you, guys.
Appreciate the call. It's nice to hear from people on Twitch who aren't, dropping the F-bomb or something. So thank you. I appreciate that too. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. Because a lot of times some of the worst crank calls have in recent years, in the recent months, I guess, have come from Twitch. So glad to hear some intelligent conversation. Although we don't have to talk about issues. We can talk about absolutely anything at all. In fact, I was streaming on Twitch last night. I did a late night video game stream because we can do that now. In fact, Darryl, I heard a rumor that you might be doing some game streaming here at some point.
In a couple of weeks, yeah.
So we'll get to that. We'll talk about what that's going to be. But one of the things we can do here now, because we have cameras in the studio, we've got the video mixing equipment to do our show. It really only took like one more piece of equipment to be able to do a couple more, but not that much equipment to be able to do video game streaming. And I've got all these old game systems here, like the PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 3 and Dreamcast.
Good, because I just purchased games for the PS1 and the PS3.
Yep. So we've got that all set up. I was playing last night. I was doing emulation, where you can play old games on newer game systems. So
okay.
So like I don't have an Atari 2600 anymore, and I haven't had one since I was
2600 days.
Yes, it's been a long time, and but they've got, of course, emulators, and the 2600 games are very, very small. They're old games. They weren't very large. You can pack hundreds of these games onto one game disc, and so I've got a game disc with a bunch of old 2600 games on it that I can play in my Dreamcast. So I was playing some old school games last night, and one of the chatters in the Twitch chat room asked the question of, was Mortal Kombat the original game that was the most violent, kind of controversial game? And I said, I'm sure there was something that came before Mortal Kombat that was also, gory, that just didn't hit as big, right? It didn't get the press. People didn't know about it like they did with Mortal Kombat, which, of course, for listeners that are unfamiliar, Mortal Kombat was a fighting game in the early 1990s that kind of was the impetus, along with another game called Night Trap, for the congressional hearings that actually Joe Lieberman headed up. And those hearings were centered around violent video games, and they ended up threatening the video game industry and said, we're going to force a rating system on you unless you voluntarily do it. So not exactly a voluntary thing, but they did voluntarily.
We're going to steal your money unless you voluntarily hand it over to us at treasury.gov.
They created their own rating system at that point. And so, but prior to that, the question was, were there any other video games that were gory like Mortal Kombat? And I just happened to stumble across one of them last night.
Death Race?
No, what was that one for?
According to the National Coalition Against Censorship, the first controversial video game was Death Race in 1976.
Wow.
The objective of the lo-fi black and white game that looks like a slightly more advanced version of Pong is to earn points by running over as many gremlins as possible.
Gremlins. Okay, so this game's going to beat that. So in that case, you're not talking about violence against humans.
Custer's Revenge in 1983.
83. All right. Tell me about Custer's Revenge.
You're aware of General George Custer?
Yes. Yep.
You're basically replaying Custer's Last Stand.
But you get to murder Indians or something like that?
In the game persona of General Custer, the player runs from enemy arrows towards a Native American woman strapped on a pole. Once there, Custer would get it on. Or, according to the critics, rape her for points.
Well, that's a horrible thing. But is that the same thing as a gory?
It's violent.
It's violent. Rape is violent for sure. But
and then the next thing that they mention is Night Trap and Mortal Kombat.
Okay, so I found one that they lift off that list, also from 1983. Totally random. Was just kind of going through the list of Atari 2600 games. And played Halloween. You remember the movie Halloween, John Carpenter?
I'm aware of the movie. Yeah. I've never seen it.
Classic movie. Halloween was one of the first, if not
the main character is Michael Myers, and it's not the
main character.
Comedian from Saturday Night Live.
He's not the main
completely different people.
The main character is, I believe, named Laurie Strode, played by Jamie Lee Curtis. She's the main character. Michael Myers is the murderer who's trying to kill her. but she has the majority of the screen time.
So you got to tell me that the Friday the 13th movies, Jason isn't the main character?
Jason is the main character of the Friday the 13th movies overall.
Freddy's the main character of
All right,
Nightmare on It. The murderer is the main character of the murder movies.
Overall, I'll give you that as an overall answer, but in the movie Halloween, the main character is Jamie Lee Curtis's character. The movie is about her and her
running
escape
from a
the
killer
murderer.
named Michael Myers, who is not a comedian.
Anyway, so this game, there's actually on-screen murder of a small child, gory murder of a small child, and the decapitation of the female character in the game.
Damn.
And it was shocking. Anyway, you can check that out at twitch.lrn.fm. Just check the clips.
I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core wallet that allows you to send and receive either currency with anyone, anywhere in the world. Download the Bitcoin.com wallet for easy and secure access to your Bitcoin Cash. It's perfect for beginners, and the Bitcoin.com wallet makes using and holding Bitcoins easy. No logins are required. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. Learn more at Bitcoin.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement, and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want here by dialing in toll-free at 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And I definitely want you to know about Zencash. Zencash is one of the, I would say, most interesting cryptocurrencies out there. It's certainly not the most successful because it's pretty brand new. It started in 2017. And they've got some cool stuff going on with Zencash, like zero-knowledge anonymity. They've got some of the best technology protecting your privacy with Zencash, but they also have over 7,500 what they call secure nodes, making Zencash one of the most distributed node systems of any cryptocurrency. That means it's more secure. And it's also a platform for cryptocurrency and communications built by Voluntarius for Voluntarius, with the ideas of voluntary interaction being written into the white paper no less than half a dozen times. You can go and learn more about Zencash, do your due diligence, do some research on it, and then maybe consider getting some because it's available at several exchanges around the globe. Zencash.com. That's Zencash.com. As we continue here, your calls and thoughts welcome. We actually started the show out kind of talking a little bit in the world of the industry and the entertainment industry, discussing Netflix. And I've kind of got a related story before we get into the latest from the international scene with Venezuela. Darryl, the headline here from the Associated Press is about YouTube, which officially is now cracking down on conspiracy videos. Although it's scant on details, conspiracy videos abound on YouTube, whether it's about the Earth being flat or school shootings being staged. YouTube, its parent company Google, Facebook, and Twitter are all facing challenges with the spread of misinformation, propaganda, and fake news. YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki said at a conference Tuesday the company will include links to the online encyclopedia Wikipedia to try to debunk videos espousing conspiracy theories. What are you laughing about?
The fact that somebody is going to have to, somehow figure out what conspiracy is being presented in a video and then find the corresponding wiki article. The entire thing here is just laughable.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's almost like, remember a couple of months ago, we talked about the thing where YouTube was supposed to be putting something up about this video was posted by a government entity.
Right. When what the idea was they were going to be posting that warning on like RT or BBC or something like that.
And also PBS and NASA videos.
Yeah, I could understand like that didn't seem that objectionable to me. Like, oh, by the way, this channel is run by the government. That doesn't bug me necessarily, but in this case, the internet has been the source of misinformation since the beginning of the internet.
Right.
Now, all of a sudden, YouTube is concerned about that? After being in existence for what? I think they started in 2006. So
something like that.
10 or 12 years, YouTube has been around and has been a place where people can go and put whatever kind of claptrap that they want to online, and it just stays there forever. Unlike Twitch, by the way, which Twitch is like sort of a limited time frame where our videos on the back end on Twitch only goes back for like 2 weeks. On YouTube, it's just there forever. And so you can put whatever you want, whatever conspiracy theory yarn that you've spun up, or very professionally edited conspiracy video like an Alex Jones or something like that. You can get the whole range on there. And I wonder, is YouTube also going to go ahead and debunk the government conspiracies as well? Because, for instance, there's a bunch of crap out there that the government feeds people that is just straight up false.
Right.
Are they going to go ahead and spend the time fact-checking that too? And, like, for instance, the Gulf of Tonkin event that started the Vietnam War that was lied about for many years, that's a true conspiracy.
Right.
Are they going to go ahead and put a warning up on any pro-government propaganda that acts as though the Gulf of Tonkin wasn't a conspiracy, saying that this is an actual conspiracy and here's the truth about what happened?
I also think it's laughable that they're going to be linking to Wikipedia.
Right.
Because anybody can edit Wikipedia.
That's actually what the AP article points out here in its next paragraph. Wikipedia itself has had a share of credibility issues as the service lets anyone edit its content, whether that person is a pedigreed expert or an online troll. The Wikipedia has tried to address that, in part by restricting edits on high-profile or controversial pages. It isn't immune from hoaxes and its own conspiracy theories. And what about the other conspiracy theories? Because, the ones like...
I'll tell you what I find, before you get into some of the other conspiracies, what I find more objectionable are some of the more recent monetization changes that YouTube has made.
Yeah, a lot of the YouTube creators have complained about that.
To where I got an email, and I don't put a lot of stuff up on YouTube, but I got an email recently saying that I no longer qualify for monetization, and I think maybe in over a decade I may have gotten a check once. But because I don't have like 10,000 hours of videos watched per week, and I don't have, some astronomically high number of subscribers, I can no longer get a penny.
You just got disqualified.
Disqualified. Yep. And then there were the other things to where they were trying to say that anything related to wrestling content, because it's fantasy violence, that those channels were just going to be blanketly demonetized. But then I think they backtracked on that, and they're like, well, that's not what we meant. But even though that's exactly the words that were used, we don't mean you.
Yeah.
Because we don't want all of you to leave and go over and do your shows on Twitch.
Well, I mean, you can do your show on Twitch. You can still do the show on YouTube. You just aren't going to make as much money on it. So some people have started doing Patreons. A lot of the longtime YouTube creators have said, well, if I can't make money on this platform, I'll go over onto this other platform.
Right. Well, there's a British wrestling promotion that I'll watch their content every now and then, where they had been putting free weekly shows on YouTube. And then when some of the monetization rules got changed, they said, we can't afford to give you a free show every week.
Right.
Because
we used to have X coming in, and now we
get money from people watching, and we're not getting that anymore.
Yeah.
And now they've gone to some completely different platform.
So let me go on here from the story. YouTube said the move is part of a broader initiative to crack down on misinformation, though it didn't give details on what else is in the works. While conspiracy videos are nothing new on YouTube, the topic received renewed attention in recent weeks as videos falsely claiming that students speaking out about the February 14th Florida school shooting, which killed 17 people, were crisis actors who were not really there when it happened. One such conspiracy video was the top trending video on YouTube until the company removed it, although many similar videos remained up, illustrating the difficulty in instituting any sort of crackdown. Conspiracy videos, to be sure, are not against YouTube's policies. In the crisis actor case, the company said it removed the video because it violated its rules against harassment. As such, YouTube is unlikely to ban misinformation entirely. Instead, it may adopt Facebook's tactic of de-emphasizing such content and making it less likely to be seen. As it stands, critics say that YouTube is doing the opposite. Quote, what keeps people glued to YouTube? Its algorithm seems to have concluded that people are drawn to content that is more extreme than what they started with, or to incendiary content in general. This according to, now this is a name here, Zeynep Tufekci, a University of North Carolina professor who studies the social impact of technology, wrote in a recent New York Times essay. He said that as users click through video after video, excited by uncovering more secrets and deeper truths, YouTube leads us down a rabbit hole of extremism while Google racks up the ad sales.
Fully cooked, ready-to-eat bacon. I'm talking thick, meaty, center-cut presidential bacon. Savory and delicious. I buy some, I use some, I store some. Awesome. No refrigeration needed with a 10-year shelf life. NASA-packed technology. Bacon. Fully cooked, fully hydrated, ready to eat right from the packed bacon. Or warm and served. Life-saving, ready-to-eat bacon. 10-year shelf life bacon. Ships free at fullycookedbacon.com. Fullycookedbacon.com.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. I'm here to tell you about GCNtelecare.com, a team of board-certified doctors assisting you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Within 15 minutes of registration, care your family can afford. Revolutionizing the healthcare industry, virtual consulting providing diagnosis of non-emergency medical issues by phone or secure video on computer or smart mobile devices. GCNtelecare.com, virtual care anywhere.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of
where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live, you're invited to join us here on the radio. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Skype username is lrn.fm. So feel free to join us there. Also in the Discord on-air call-in line over at discord.lrn.fm, which we're actually going to go to here shortly. It's Ian and Darryl in the studio here tonight. Darryl, who is the #1 contributor over at liberty.menu. Now, yes. Darryl, at some point, hopefully somebody will dethrone you from the #1 contribution category.
At some point, maybe, hopefully.
But it's still a relatively new site. There's still a lot of growth that can happen over at liberty.menu. It is essentially a digital business and events and digital media directory and real-life business directory of places that accept libertarians, places that are liberty-friendly, that are probably run by liberty-minded people, that want to be patronized by liberty-minded people. You go to liberty.menu, and you can do that there. If you've got a business, list it on liberty.menu. Why not? I mean, we're driving people to that website here on Free Talk Live because we've partnered up with liberty.menu to help promote them, given that people for a long time have asked for this. They've asked for, hey guys, what's the best libertarian business directory? For a long time, there were some lackluster efforts, and now there's liberty.menu, which is a nice-looking, easy-to-use site that is completely free to list whatever it is you want to list. So go over there and get your listings up, or check it out and see what the current listings are. Maybe there's something in your area, but if not, you can put your business up there at liberty.menu. Once again, that's liberty.menu. As we continue here, we're talking about YouTube cracking down, according to the Associated Press, on conspiracy videos, saying that they're going to start editing I don't know if they're going to put a link in the video itself or the description or maybe in both places, but YouTube is indicating that they intend to include links to Wikipedia to try to debunk videos that espouse so-called conspiracy theories. Let's go to Nat Dog, who is on the line with us, calling on the Discord on-air call-in line. He's watching us on Twitch. Hey, Nat Dog, go ahead.
Hey, guys.
Hey, you're on the air.
Basically, what I've seen is that YouTube, Twitch, or any of these other billion-dollar companies are basically not in a broad sense killing free speech at the same time as bringing in as much money as possible to their companies. It's the Disney effect, you know. If you can get the kids, you can get the parents. You get the parents, you know, it's generational.
Which is interesting, given that YouTube started as kind of at least a purported free speech platform, in that you couldn't put up, you know, pornography, or there was a couple things that they wouldn't allow, but otherwise pretty much anything could be said, anything could be shown on YouTube, and now that's changing with all the demonetization going on, these policy changes, and politicization as well.
And another thing, it's a way that YouTube can save money, right? You know, they can just claim, oh, well, you're conspiracy, or, oh, you're providing fake news. You know, oh, we're going to take your money away. We're going to take your demonetization, right?
Right.
And I mean, it's, you know, it's just control. All of it's just control and putting on whatever they want to be the face.
And they can do, of course, whatever they want. They're a private company, so if they want to change their rules, they certainly can. But it will create a market opportunity for somebody else to have that free speech platform. Now, what are some other options? There's Live Leak, right? Now, that's sort of directed at more shocking videos, it seems like, these days. I don't know if that's a place where people
right, but do they have monetization? And the reason people go to YouTube is YouTube has monetization.
Yeah.
And this is one of the problems, to where you know, when you rely on other platforms for your monetization,
you're owned
just
by
like them. Remember, there were all of the Vine stars a couple of years ago.
Yeah, and then they went out of business.
And then Vine just went out of business. And where are those people now? Nowhere.
No, some of them, I think, have parlayed into other platforms successfully. I mean, if you created a following on that platform, you probably have fans who are going to find you on other platforms.
Well, you do have like the Pauls that came over from Vine. They did pretty well on YouTube. I mean, I can't remember if it was Logan or Jake Paul. I mean, he went to the Suicide Force and
Logan
did the
wound up getting a couple of acting gigs.
Oh yeah,
from the thing. But you know, most of the other people that were big on Vine, they have nothing, because they didn't have Twitter accounts, they didn't have Instagram, they didn't have other social media. They were on Vine. Find me on Vine.
Wow.
And then Vine goes away. Where the hell are they? Bagging groceries at the grocery store.
Are they really?
Yeah, it's supposed to be coming back sometime this year. They've been teasing at it, but it's going to be pretty much, you know, college campus lockdown. You know, you can't the whole you know, controlled situation. And I think that's where a lot of these Silicon Valley, you know, internet companies are starting to do is, I mean, you only need 1 million people. If you get 1 million people to watch you every day and give you $1, you get $1 million. And really, you only need maybe 100,000 people to watch your videos.
Sure, but
on
most
YouTube.
people aren't going to watch and actually pay to watch content.
No,
People are used to content being free. They're willing to put up with some advertisements generally to allow that free content. But it's hard. And that's not to say it's impossible. I mean, you can look at like XM or Sirius satellite radio, and people pay for that content. People pay for Netflix, and
we were talking about Netflix and Hulu earlier.
But it's
people pay for Hulu, and then they are paying to watch commercials.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's the same on Amazon. Like I pay for that, and it's, you know, I get Amazon Prime, and that's nice. But sometimes there's little commercials every now and again. I'm like, wait a second, you know, they're getting me on both ends. They're getting my money, and they're getting these advertisements in there.
Yeah, that bugs me. Although apparently Darryl did tell me that the Hulu people have a tier for you watch ads and a tier for you don't have to watch ads.
Right. That's why the only reason I'd go and watch Hulu anymore is It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is on there now. So I might have to bite the bullet and do it until I can finish the series. But other than that, I'll stick to YouTube, Netflix, Twitch, and kind of the more I pay for it, you leave me alone with the ads, and I can just be free to do what I want.
Nat Dog, good call tonight, man. I appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number, if you want to join us here, is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Let's go to good calls coming from Twitch tonight, by the way.
Yeah, surprising.
Probably the best night so far for intelligent calls coming from Twitch. So maybe our audience is expanding there. Let's go to Surf Daddy. He's on the line in California. Hello, Surf Daddy. Hey there.
Hey, good subject tonight.
Yes.
Speaking of YouTube, I was clicking around YouTube last night, just randomly, going from different things, and I kind of stumbled onto this situation going on in South Africa right now, where the Marxist government has put forth a legislation to expatriate farmers' land with no compensation, but this only pertains to the white-owned farms.
Okay.
And as I continued to click, this story is a pretty disturbing situation going on down there right now.
Yeah, I've heard something about that. South Africa, of course, not a real stable place for anybody to live. It doesn't seem like. But yeah, I've heard something about that. It sounds terrible. So people are being forced off their land. Is this basically the equivalent of what they have in the United States of eminent domain, where the government can just say, "Oh, we need that land," and then just come on in and take it?
Well, I'd really recommend looking into it. They're talking about stuff that rises to the level of a genocide or ethnic cleansing. There's a political party that garners something like, it's the second largest party in South Africa now, and their theme song speaks of murdering all the whites in the country. And it's just, as I was clicking around last night, and I was cross-referencing articles, because you know how it is, a lot of nonsense or stuff that's not true out there. I tend to cross-reference things with Google searches and different sources. And it's pretty credible and disturbing circumstance going on down there.
Thanks for the heads up on that, Surf Daddy. I appreciate the call. Of course, that's what governments allow people to do, is they allow people to get in control of guns and commit violence against people they don't like. We're coming up here in moments. This is Free Talk Live.
Crimes of the Crown by Captain Mark. The Crown casts the world in shadow and claims to be our guiding light. Cowards clamor for security from boogeymen and ghost stories, while I say these hobgoblins are imaginary. I say those they propped up as our liberators are now subsisting on our bondage. I say there is freedom in the black, and that's exactly where we intend to go. The Crown banishes its own officers for exposing its crimes and tortures dissidents to the brink of madness. It dominates the globe and swallows the wealth of generations, leaving only blood and excrement. The Crown calls it piracy to explore frontiers beyond its grasp. So the time has come for us to define the conduct among pirates. I say the Crown has trampled our necks long enough. Need decentralized solutions to centralized problems? Looking for a community of like-minded scoundrels? Or just want some swag to let the Crown know what you think of it? Join the conversation at pirateswithoutborders.com. We won't be hard to find.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Tired of being censored by Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Patreon? Well, now you don't have to be. OneWay.com is the free speech and human-friendly social network built just for you. Stop feeding the beast. Every post you make on those evil, anti-human, anti-American perverted sites helps them destroy our families, our country, and our souls. Join One Way today and take back your liberty. Your free speech alternative is waiting for you at OneWay.com. OneWay.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can dial toll-free and join us right here. Bring up whatever's on your mind. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Skype username is LRN.FM. And our Discord on-air call-in line is also there on Discord. Go to discord.lrn.fm. In fact, that's where we're going next. We've been talking about the trend that seems to be happening these days in online media, like specifically in this case YouTube, cracking down now on more videos that they've deemed to be controversial, in this case conspiracy videos. Even though they're not against YouTube's policies per se, they're now saying publicly, and this story is from the AP, that they will be adding links to YouTube conspiracy videos in an attempt to allow the viewers to try to debunk those videos.
I wonder how much of this has to do with the government wanting companies to crack down on fake news.
It could very
which has gone so far as Facebook sending a warning letter to the Babylon Bee, that is a noted satire site.
Yeah. So it's disturbing. That's one of the things we've been discussing here. Of course, you can bring up whatever's on your mind. Earlier, we were also talking about the school walkouts, which somebody called in to ask about. I wasn't planning on I didn't really know anything about it. Somebody asked about it, and that's kind of how Free Talk Live goes. You call in about what you want, and then that sends us off on a completely different direction, results in further calls. In fact, Darryl, you reached out to somebody that you know who's in high school.
Yes.
To ask for, what happened with this walkout thing.
Yeah, what happened, if there was something that happened, hey, can you call in and let us know? Yes, he did.
His name is Spencer. He's calling from Bedford, New Hampshire. Spencer, you're actually on our Discord on-air call-in line. Go ahead with your thoughts.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, so today at 10 o'clock throughout the nation, including at Bedford High School, students decided to perform a walkout. So for 17 minutes, so in practice, it was 1 minute for each individual that died at the shooting in Parkland, Florida, And however, what started as something that's quite benign, and remembering those that died in the shooting, it started to morph into something more political and not so benign. There's multiple posters. It's very much anti-gun, if anything.
Mm-hmm.
So what people were saying that it was pretty much, just it was mourning the deaths. It was actually just people just wanting to get a bigger crowd out there to show that there's actually real backing, quote unquote, for more gun control.
So now, what percentage of the students there at your high school would you say actually wound up walking out?
One of my estimates from one of my friends that were out there and saw what happened, took a picture. He said it was an estimate about 300 students, a good 300.
And where is this? Bedford High School?
The Bedford High School has, I think it's 1,400 students.
Okay.
So do the quick maths quickly. It's
1 in 5, roughly.
Were you in a classroom at 10 a.m. to where you could see people walking out from the class?
Well, you see, what the school decided to do, they changed the schedule around to accommodate what was going to happen. So we had a 2-hour delay. But we had we had homeroom first. So when the walkout was going to occur, it only affect homeroom, and so you wouldn't be missing class. So they went around this a little. So
okay, so you didn't plus we had the snow, and Bedford had a good bit more than we did. So I think they used the snow as an excuse for the delay.
Yeah, true? I mean, I'm sure that it was rung through the minds of the superintendent when this was happening, because it was very much a well-known issue or event that was going to occur. So
now you mentioned homeroom, that you didn't have to be there. Is that a thing with homeroom? You don't have to attend that class?
Well, no. You see, what happened was homeroom or advisory was it's actually known as. You have to show up. Is how your attendance is. That's your attendance for the day.
You are officially here today.
Yeah.
Yes, essentially, you're officially here today. You come to homeroom. You also appear in your normal classes as well. But what the school decided to do was they would have accommodations in the gym for safety reasons during this time. However, the grand majority of people that went out to protest, they went outside of the school during this time.
Mm-hmm.
So in order for you to leave the school, you had to have a note. So the principal basically said, if you're going to participate outside of the school, you have to have a note. He made a great threat. He made a threat that if you do not have a note, I have a large gym waiting for you.
Did people who went outside the school actually have a note, or were there enough people to where they just overwhelmed the bureaucrats and were able to get out there?
I'm not so sure. However, I heard announcements throughout the school that were directed towards teachers to bring down the notes to the main office multiple times throughout the day. So I'm not so sure.
To anybody who actually walked out with a note, I mean, that's pretty embarrassing. The whole idea of a walkout is to just walk out of class.
Please allow Johnny to participate in a protest today at 10 o'clock.
That's pretty
exactly.
pathetic.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, what portion of the students, and if you don't know, that's okay. But did you get any idea of what portion of the walkouts were just people who wanted to get out of class for 17 minutes, as opposed to people who actually support some sort of anti-gun political agenda?
From what it appeared, I mean, there was no reason to go outside because it was homeroom. So basically, people during homeroom, you have a snack, you talk to your homeroom teacher, talk to your friends, whatever. It's only about half an hour long.
I see.
But
today it was 2 hours long because of the rescheduling?
No, he said there was a 2-hour school delay, so school didn't start until 10 instead of 8.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there was no reason to go outside unless you only want to protest due to the weather and the snow.
Or the cute girl walked outside, and I want to walk outside because the cute girl's outside.
There's plenty of liberal cute girls. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, right. It is possible as well.
All right, good. Well, that's good inside information. I appreciate the explanation of what went down.
Yeah, and Spencer, since I had actually asked you to call in, you probably weren't listening earlier when somebody had mentioned one school specifically in Arizona where the school had scheduled a fire alarm at the same time, supposedly to make it look like everybody was participating in the walkout. Did you have any sense that the administration wanted kids to actually participate while also saying, make sure you have a note if you're going to participate?
No, it was the school. That's what I'm happy about, Bedford. I mean, they're not partisan. They're not against or for anything, or at least appears that way. I know the principal. I'm not going to go into detail about him, but I know him quite well. There was no leanings per se in either direction.
All right. Hey, thanks for the heads up, Spencer. Anything else you want to share about it?
I did hear, though, that in California, someone tweeted a student that they're actually being forced to go outside. it wasn't just a fire drill. Some places actually force you to go outside. Apparently, in some places.
I saw that tweet, but as with anything on the internet, you never really know if it's true or not. As Abe Lincoln once said, "Don't believe everything you read on the internet."
Hey, thanks, Spencer. Good call, man. I appreciate hearing from you. Thanks for sharing that with us tonight. The toll-free number, if you want to join us, 855-450, free like freedom. But as you hear, the Discord call-in line chat is very high quality compared to normal phone calls. And Skype sounds pretty good too, so feel free to use that as well. Skype username LRN.FM. So we were talking about YouTube cracking down, and as the AP reported, they're cracking down on conspiracy videos. They're intending to de-emphasize that content. They won't ban it entirely, but they will, kind of exclude it from its algorithms, basically. Don't promote these videos, Mr. Algorithm, kind of thing. And so that'll prevent them from showing up as like related content, perhaps. And they're also going to be putting in the links, supposedly, to debunking articles on Wikipedia. According to Zeynep Tufekci, he says that users on YouTube click through video after video, excited by uncovering more secrets and deeper truths. YouTube leads us down a rabbit hole of extremism while Google racks up the ad sales, suggesting that Google's is of two minds here. One is to promote people to find these videos, but yet on the other end, they're acting as though they don't want to do that. So,
yeah, it's one of those strange, magic trick sort of things to where you wave the flashy hand of, don't look what I'm doing over here, while I'm secretly doing the trick over here.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll keep an eye on this, see how it goes. I know my videos have been, a lot of them on Free Keen have been demonetized. That happened.
Now, I wonder how long it's going to be before like Amazon Prime or Netflix wind up putting warnings on Ancient Aliens.
That's a History Channel product, correct?
It is, but I'm fairly certain that is. I know it for a fact it's available on Amazon Prime. I don't know if it's available on like Hulu or Netflix, but there's a bunch of wacky conspiracies that they talk about on there.
Yeah, and Free Keen's not even a conspiracy video channel at all. It's just a libertarian video channel.
Yeah,
and we got demonetized as well in a lot of ways. So that's just how it is, man. You can't rely on one platform to get your message out.
Yeah.
If you do, then you'll be in trouble when they shut down or shut you down. 855-450, free like freedom. Let's go to Venezuela coming up. But of course, you can always bring up anything you want here. Hour number 3 is next on Free Talk Live.
I tried other brands, but I came back to My Sunshine.
For the best hot or cold pain relief, get the best. Get a Sunny Bay heating pad.
Sometimes life can be a pain in the neck or back or shoulder.
And the best relief for that pain is a Sunny Bay heating pad. Did you know that the American College of Physicians said that one of the best ways to treat muscle pain is heat therapy? Sunny Bay heating pads are handmade with high quality, can be used at home or at work, and have a lifetime 100% positive rating on both Amazon and Etsy.
Why take another pill?
Many people use our Sunny Bay heating pads alone and got rid of the neck pain.
Long distance travel or long hours in front of a computer can take its toll on your body.
See why our homegrown small business at sunny-bay.com has tried to help people just like you. Get your Sunny Bay heating pads at sunny-bay.com. That's sunny-bay.com or call 253-678-1361 for hot and cold therapy. sunny-bay.com.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, March 14th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.60 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,326 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $20, and the average price of Bitcoin is $8,695. And Tower.com reports after months of speculation that such a move was coming had all but died down, President Trump made a surprise move on Tuesday announcing the firing of Secretary of State Rex Tillerson. The announcement was made via Twitter, and Tillerson reportedly found out on Twitter. Trump said of the firing that he and Tillerson had different mindsets. Trump intends to replace him with CIA Director Mike Pompeo, about whom he said, "We have a similar thought process." The move is raising a lot of questions as to why. Indications are that the immediate cause was that Tillerson endorsed the idea that Russia was behind the poisoning of an ex-spy in Britain after the White House had already said they weren't going to accuse Russia for the incident. Tillerson did not just contradict the White House, but reporters said he made several other on-the-record comments about Russia during the flight back to the U.S. from his trip to Africa. Pompeo is seen as much less hostile towards Russia, and this is believed to be the driving force for the sacking. Not that it was a single-issue move, with Representative Nancy Pelosi of California going so far as to claim that Trump effectively fired Tillerson at the behest of Russian President Vladimir Putin. The change sets the stage for a State Department that's a bit more friendly towards Russia, however. But of course, that's not the only change. Pompeo and Tillerson differed on a lot of issues. Pompeo, in particular, is seen as very hawkish on Iran, which is leading the Israeli press to conclude that the Netanyahu government will be happy with the change. Pompeo is also seen as a lot more critical towards North Korea, as Tillerson was long inclined to diplomacy, earning multiple rebukes for it. With Trump heading towards direct talks with North Korea's Kim Jong-un, it's a bit surprising that Pompeo will be taking Tillerson's place, but that underscores how many intertwining issues are involved in this sort of replacement of a top U.S. diplomat. The importance of U.S. diplomatic stance on several issues is very important to overall U.S. military policy, and both Tillerson and Pompeo have their pet issues on which they are hawkish and at other times more inclined towards reasonable dialogue. While there is a tendency among analysts to try to settle on a specific conclusion of what such a big change means ahead of time, the reality is that the full impact of these changes is going to be impossible to predict for quite some time.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
UPI reports House Democrats on Monday blocked a Republican-sponsored bill that would have allowed terminally ill patients to try experimental drug treatments that haven't been approved by the FDA. The Right to Try Act failed to get the two-thirds of the House vote it needed to move on to the Senate with a vote of 259 to 140. After the vote, Republicans blasted Democrats for preventing the bill from moving forward. The bill had its share of critics outside of the House chambers who said it failed to address the problems of gaining access to experimental treatments because it did not require the drug companies to allow those treatments to be accessed.
Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash has the ability to use both transparent and shielded transactions, with shielded transactions using zero-knowledge proofs. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zensystem.io. That's zensystem.io.
Reuters reports a former aide to New York Governor Andrew Cuomo was found guilty by a Manhattan jury on Tuesday of agreeing to take bribes from executives at two companies seeking to do business with the state government. The verdict against Joseph Percoco is the highest-profile federal corruption conviction in New York since the 2015 convictions of two former leading state legislators, which were later overturned. Percoco's lawyers could not immediately be reached for comment. Cuomo, a Democrat, is up for re-election this year, and he has not been charged with any wrongdoing. Percoco was indicted on bribery and conspiracy charges in November 2016. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Americans across the nation made their voices heard this week as they demanded more mind-blowing guitar solos. Calling for the solos to be, quote, face-meltingly cool and go on for well over 10 minutes, Americans stressed that all guitar solos from now on should be equally as kick-ass as those in Van Halen's Hot for Teacher and AC/DC's Thunderstruck, or even better.
It should start out really slow, and then get faster and faster until they're all the way up at the top of the guitar neck and bending the notes like crazy. So it's like, and then there's all this awesome pyrotechnic stuff going off in the background. They should all be like that.
And in this week's local news, a report noted that on its surface, Glenbrook, Ohio is a small town like any other, a peaceful, all-American town. And yet, the report's authors added, if you only look closer, what you find may surprise you. In other news, a man is just having one of those decades where he doesn't feel like doing anything.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. We're launching into the third hour of the program. Of course, you're invited to join us here. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype at Skype username LRN.FM. With you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Darryl.
Also, we've been mentioning all night, we're going to talk about Bitcoin. Here is the time, finally. We've got the Bitcoin. No, this is Bitcoin. I'm reading the word Bitcoin as I'm saying that. There's a headline here at Bloomberg. Bitcoin is worthless. Bubble may pop soon, says Allianz Global, whoever the hell that is. So maybe we'll get into that too. But Venezuela, where Bitcoin has actually been pretty popular from what we've heard, given that the money system there is just completely broken. $1 US will get you over 200,000 Venezuela strong bolivar on the black market, whereas the government's exchange rate is 10 to 1, meaning that you can go into a bank, give them $1, and get 10 of the so-called strong bolivar, while if you go out onto the streets, you'll get as many as 200,000 of them. So that's part of where their problems stem from. The rest of it is socialism and government and, central control and mismanagement and seizing of industries. And there's all kinds of problems that have led to a situation where the people of Venezuela are basically getting to starvation levels.
They're starving to death very, very slowly.
Yeah, they've been losing weight on average over the last few years, and it's getting pretty serious. In fact, according to Bloomberg.com...
You didn't say how much on average. Close to 20 pounds per year the last 2 years.
Yeah, it was 17 pounds previous year, and it was like 24 pounds the last year. Patricia Laya over at Bloomberg is doing a series, or Bloomberg is, on Venezuela. They're calling it Life in Caracas. It's a series of short stories. It seeks to capture the surreal quality of living in a land in total disarray. Quote, "We don't have any," unquote. Living in Venezuela, you get used to hearing that. But the story behind the missing ham was different. It's not that supermarket managers were having trouble finding enough to sell, the typical cause of shortages ravaging the country. They had decided to stop ordering it. The reason? After years of hyperinflation, the price is too long. That's right, they wrote too long in this story. Not too high, but too long. The store's deli scales run only to 6 digits. And ham, my WhatsApp food hunting community tells me, is retailing nowadays for about 1.48 million bolivars per kilogram, which means you would need 7 digits to display the price of ham.
You said 1.48?
Correct.
That is higher than the country's minimum wage per month.
Wow. For a kilogram of ham. It didn't matter that I wanted only a few hundred milligrams. The cost was, at this market at least, incalculable. A similar dynamic is impeding the use of credit and debit cards. The price of a set of sheets, 33.5 million bolivars, a pair of Adidas sneakers, 10.5 million bolivars, or even a slice of lasagna at 401,000 bolivars cannot fit on the screens of older credit card machines. So even if you have the money, you can't buy it with your credit card at certain locations, certain retail locations.
Yeah.
Because the people who were making those credit card machines thought, we'll never need more than 6 digits to display in front of the the decimal point.
Right, because what normal purchase that you're buying in a retail location
is $1 million.
Is over $9.99999 million.
According to the story here, even the invoice printers that many businesses use for reporting to the tax authorities are running out of space. The solution previously was to split one purchase into several transactions. So if you're going in to get a pair of Adidas sneakers at 10.5 million bolivars, but it can only show 6 digits, then you'd have to do 10 transactions of 1.5 million or 1.05. Anyway,
good luck trying to calculate because your calculator only goes to 6 digits.
It would only seem to be a matter of time before the Maduro regime opts to reset the value of the currency to ease these logistical headaches. It's been 10 years since officials first tried such a move, lopping off 3 zeros and rebranding it the Strong Bolivar, which we've talked about here, the Bolivar Fuerte, which means Strong Bolivar.
I wonder if, plop off 6 zeros and then call it the Stronger Bolivar?
Yeah, who knows? I mean, and nobody in Venezuela is going to be fooled by this a second time, right? I mean, if this move fooled you 10 years ago, is the same move by the government going to fool you again this time? Because it's the same thing. And ultimately, it won't last as long, will it? Because 10 years ago, when they lopped off 3 zeros back then, the economy was stronger in Venezuela.
Yes.
They still had sort of like a middle-class living that you could make. There was still money coming in from the oil sales that was significant back at that time. Life was completely different for people in Venezuela 10 years ago when that happened. Now, you've got an insane inflation rate going on there. And so if they lob off 6 zeros, it's only going to be a matter of another year probably before they're all back on.
So according to Google Translate, Duro means hard.
D-O-U-R-O?
D-U-R-O.
D-U-R-O. Duro. Okay.
Mas means more, so they could call it the Mas Duro.
The more hard?
But also Maduro is the president, so the Mas Duro.
The Mas Duro.
So then it's sort of that double entendre to where you're naming the currency after El Presidente. And it's more hard than the Fuerte.
I hope he's not listening and hearing that idea, because that sounds like something that he would do.
Oh, he probably would. And I want credit for it, and I want payment.
In what?
In U.S. dollars.
You don't want the petro?
$1 million U.S. dollars for the idea.
We need a petro update too, Darryl, if you want to pull that up.
I was expecting that, so I pulled it up.
Hold on.
All of the petro were still in the same NEM wallet.
Well, no, they haven't come out with a petro yet. You're talking about the tokens, right?
Okay, well, whatever the thing they were supposedly pre-sailing, ICO, raising billions of dollars on, they never distributed. All of the tokens are in the same wallet.
Didn't I hear that they changed the platform again? Like they originally changed from Ethereum to, what was
NEM.
it? EDM?
NEM.
NEM. And then I heard, I didn't verify this claim, but I heard they changed it a second time, meaning it is no longer NEM, but based on something else. Anyway, a little bit more here from the story about the crazy situation there. The government cranked up printing presses to finance its extravagant spending plans with fresh cash, and inflation soared. There are no official figures, but by all accounts, prices are rising faster than ever. Bloomberg's gauge, the Café con Leche Index, estimates that the inflation in Venezuela has been running at an annualized pace of more than 82,000% over the past 3 months. Back at the supermarket, the clerk told me they're trying to fix the scale so they know how much to charge. They better add a whole lot of digits. Now, they're in a situation there where they probably don't have enough money to buy a new scale. Even if there is a scale out there that has 20 digits on it or something like that, the special hyperinflation scale where, stores and nations experiencing hyperinflation need scales like this. or cash registers with these capabilities, to upgrade your equipment to the capabilities that you would need to have to run these huge numbers is just cost prohibitive. They're not going to be able to do it.
Now, when you mentioned that they were having problems with their scales earlier, and this was, prior to us actually talking about it, I thought you were going to say that the scales were breaking from weighing the money, trying to figure out how people could pay because they didn't want to sit there and count all of the bolivar.
That is definitely how they are weighing. They are definitely weighing money in Venezuela, because when you have 1 million bolivar that you need to count, you can't do that. I mean, even with a counting machine, it would take some time to count through that kind of money. So all you pretty much can do is flip through the cash real fast, eyeball it to make sure that there's not blank pieces of paper in there, although not that it matters that much, and then put it on a scale and see if it weighs the right amount. Toll-free number tonight if you want to join us here, 855-450-FREE like freedom, 855-450-3733. We got more on the latest from Venezuela, plus the Philippines withdrawing from the International Criminal Court. We'll tell you why coming up.
What is it costing you in vet bills for that convenience of just pulling open a bag of
formulated, extruded, processed cereal bits that cost a ton of money anyways?
How do you feed your dog to derive not only energy, but a good coat, bright eyes, and a great attitude?
Come to Dynovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
I found his raw meat diet on Dynovite.com. With just the raw meat and the eggs and the Dynovite and the Super Omega on top of it.
Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Buy 2, get 1 free.
Ground beef, white rice, eggs, including the shells, and the Dynovite supplement, and then the Lico Chops.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
It just balances out his body and his mind and his spirit.
Adding Dynovite to their diet has every single dog in my kennel looking better than they have ever looked.
Their skin is so much better now that they're on the raw diet. I don't even give them the kibble anymore.
DINOVITE.com.
I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. Facebook.freetalklive.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can take control of the airwaves here. You can bring up whatever's on your mind. Our number is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Skype username is lrn.fm. And in the studio with you tonight, you've got Ian.
And Darryl.
Want to let you know about the Blink Home Security System. You can get 10% off by using coupon code FTL over at blinkprotect.com. You do it at the checkout. And Blink is a home security system that is super easy to get set up and actually surprisingly affordable as well. So you don't always get those things together where it's actually easy, quality, and affordable, but you can actually surprisingly get that with blinkprotect.com. And again, use code FTL. You unbox it, you put the batteries in, which are included, and then you set the cameras up wherever you want, and you link them all in through a hub, which you plug into the wall. That's the one wire in the system, which is the power cable for the hub. And then everything else is done wirelessly. It's all set up wirelessly as well via your Wi-Fi-enabled device like a tablet or smartphone. So go to blinkprotect.com, and at checkout, use coupon code FTL to save 10%. As we continue, you can bring up what you want here. We've been talking about the latest out of Venezuela, and not only is it getting more difficult for what retailers do still exist in Venezuela because the number of digits that they need to display prices on cash registers and scales and things like that, they just don't have the numbers. The credit card machines don't have enough digits to display, over $1 million because your typical business wasn't expecting to have sales in any given moment of $1 million, right, or in this case, Bolivar, to their customers. So that's where we started. But, Darryl, you've got a Venezuela update for us as well. What's going on?
Yeah, so story here from NBC News. It begins, Antonio Perez, a semi-retired real estate agent. Antonio, 73 years old, by the way, woke up at 5 a.m. to stand in line outside a bank to cash his monthly pension. His breakfast, a cup of coffee. Mm-hmm. By the time he had arrived, there were already 140 people waiting to cash their checks as well.
At the bank. Can you imagine? I mean, it's annoying when there's 5 people in front of me at the bank.
Yeah. An average monthly pension trades for about $1.81 on the black market.
A U.S. dollar and 81 cents. Gotcha.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
He continues to try to work.
That's what he's standing in line for. I mean, again, can you imagine standing in line for
$2?
Right, for $2 behind 140 other people who probably are also getting similar amounts of money.
The article says, but last year was the worst of his career. He didn't sell a single property.
Wow.
Perez said of himself and his wife, we're barely surviving. If prices keep rising, I don't know what we're going to eat.
Yeah.
As the economy in Venezuela crumbles, daily life has become a constant struggle consisting of waiting in lines and stretching a minuscule wage that each day buys fewer goods.
That's brutal.
The country's monthly minimum wage of 1.3 million bolivars, around $6.03 on the black market, is enough to buy either 2 cartons of eggs, a kilo of cornmeal, and a box of pasta, or 2 liters of milk, 4 cans of tuna, and a loaf of bread.
Wow.
With extreme food shortages, hunger...
In a month.
For a month. For a month.
Yeah. $6 minimum wage for a month.
Yes. With extreme food shortages, hunger and malnutrition are on the rise, but even when food is available in stores, the average salary is not enough to feed a family. I'd say it's not enough to feed a person for a week.
Not at all.
Like you could probably stretch the 4 cans of tuna and loaf of bread and 2 liters of milk to feed you for 4 days.
Several days, yeah.
Maybe. Venezuela sits on the world's largest oil reserve and was once one of Latin America's wealthiest countries. Yep. But as hyperinflation continues to rise to levels not seen anywhere in the world, money loses more and more value. Money is not enough to buy anything. And they've got this written in Spanish and then translated to English. I'm not going to try reading the Spanish. Everything is far too expensive, and common phrases, or rather they say are common phrases in Venezuela these days.
Yep.
Normal conversations now revolve around what products people can no longer afford. And they have a picture.
This is what people have in common. I mean, people talk about things that they have in common. Here in the United States, they talk about television shows, right? Or whatever.
Or if you're reminiscing, hey, do you remember when that didn't used to be there? Do you remember when that used to be something else?
Sure, if you're in a physical area with somebody, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But, things they have in common. Here, in Venezuela, people have starving in common. They have a shortage of resources in common, and they can talk about those things.
They've got a picture here that I want to describe, or rather attempt to describe. It's looking down a grocery aisle.
Oh, wow.
On the left.
These are prohibited. These photos are prohibited. If they catch you taking those pictures, you will be in trouble.
So before I tell you about the shelves, there are a total of 4 people in the aisle. A woman holding what appears to be maybe a jar of mayonnaise and a carton of some sort. You can't really tell what it is. And then a bottle in her right hand. 3 men standing down at the back of the aisle wearing what appear to be worker suits of some, like blue jumpsuit overall sort of thing. And then far behind that, there's someone that appears to possibly maybe be standing at a checkout line. The aisle on the left, or rather the shelving on the left of the aisle, completely empty. The shelving on the right, mostly empty, appears to have, again, I can't see the labels, but looking at the bottles, it looks like the bottles of hot sauce.
Okay, great.
And then further down,
there's
something that, again, I can't tell what it is. Don't
pour
know.
It on the bones of the little mouse that you caught in your house that you can eat raw
basically
or something.
The shelves are barren.
Yeah. Oh, it's just propaganda, Darryl. That's just propaganda. It's not really like that there. Believe the government. They're going to tell you the truth. They're helping people.
Speaking of the government, since President Nicolas Maduro took over the socialist government after Hugo Chavez's death in 2013, the minimum wage has been raised 21 times. The last time at the beginning of the month.
My God.
The steady increase has been seen by economists as a desperate measure to catch up with the steep levels of inflation. The past 8 months brought such shocking price surges that Venezuela became the 57th recorded case of hyperinflation in the world, with an annualized rate of inflation of 2,000%.
This other article said over 3 months, 80,000%.
The Venezuelan government no longer publishes inflation data or forecast, but the IMF projects inflation to reach 13,000 this year.
The toll-free number here, and I presume there's more.
Yes.
From on the ground in Venezuela, 855-450, free like freedom. What's that you say? You don't think it can happen where you are? Give them time. 855-450-3733. This is the result of central control of money and socialism. It's Free Talk Live. Bring up what you want on the radio.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Anytime, any place, anywhere, radio remains the most intimate of all forms of media. At home, at work, in the car, on smartphones. Over 90% of consumers still listen to radio every week. That makes choosing radio as a place to advertise your business one of the best decisions you can make. Email advertise@gcnlive.com and partner up with an experienced GCN representative. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
It's the Onion Radio News. Hager physicists have created quantum slacks. This is Doyle Redland reporting. The stunning announcement that a team of Hager physicists has successfully developed quantum slacks was made this morning at a press conference in Philadelphia. According to Dr. Daniel Chang, head of the Hager team, conventional notions about the physical properties and possibilities of slacks have been turned on their heads.
We are on the verge of unzipping the secrets of creation and peering into the pants of God himself. It appears the very fabric of the universe may well be a smart cotton twill weave.
However, Chang urged caution in further research after tests conducted last month at the Hager Pants Propulsion Collider Laboratory in Dallas suggested the possible existence of so-called anti-pants, which could, in theory, initiate a chain reaction resulting in no pants at all. Doyle Redland for the Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live, and you can dial toll-free to join us here. Our number, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Skype username is LRN.FM, and in the studio with you tonight, you've got Ian.
And Darryl.
Of course, you can bring up whatever you want. We've also got the Discord on-air call-in line chat room, which people have been using tonight to call the show as well. You can go to discord.lrn.fm, and you'll find that there. Coming up this November, Darryl, you are going to be running in one of the biggest marathons out there, the New York City Marathon.
Yes, and I'm going to be running on Team Innocence Project. And
that's the group that is trying to get people exonerated who were wrongfully convicted.
Yes, and let me explain. There are a few ways to get into the New York City Marathon. You can either be an elite athlete, which I am not.
Compared to the rest of the show hosts, you are an elite athlete, but
right.
Yeah.
I would have to increase my marathon time by double.
Oh, wow.
To wind up qualifying.
You mean you'd have to have it?
Cut it in half.
Yeah.
Yes. So, like 2 hours and like 15, 20 minutes instead of 4.5.
So that ain't going to work.
Not happening anytime soon. Or if I were 70 and maintain the same speed, then I could qualify on speed.
Got it.
Or
well, you can't use speed. They probably would drug test you or something like
No. I'm saying I could qualify on time in 30 years if I keep up the same pace.
Okay, gotcha.
Or they have what they call a lottery, which not traditional lottery. I didn't get selected in the lottery, so then I looked, what are some charity teams? And I saw the Innocence Project and sent an email, or actually not an email, applied through their form on their website. And later that afternoon, got an email. And yes, absolutely, I will confirm this right now and pay my registration fee. So registration fee is paid. Hotel, I've already got booked. What I need to make sure that I run the New York City Marathon on Team Innocence Project is I need to raise $3,500 minimum for the Innocence Project. And all of the money, when you go through run.freetalklive.com and you donate through the CrowdRise platform, all of that money goes to the Innocence Project.
Sweet.
CrowdRise actually has a thing to where they'll charge you the processing fee. So if you want to donate $25, it's going to be a little bit more because you're paying all of the fees so that all of the money goes to the Innocence Project.
Right. And so you have to raise $3,500. Does everybody else on the team also have to do the same thing?
Each member of the team.
And how many are there?
They have up to 5. I don't know how many of those positions they have filled.
So in theory, then the Innocence Project will get like $17,000 something off of
minimum.
Yeah.
If everybody winds up raising just the bare minimum.
Right. And that's doable. I mean, between now and November or September, whenever it is that the things do.
November.
If you want to help out Darryl with this fundraiser, you can go to run.freetalklive.com. That's run.freetalklive.com. Donations by what, credit card?
Credit card, yes. And if somebody wants to do crypto, I can facilitate that.
Gotcha.
So just send an email, Darryl@freetalklive.com.
Perfect. Let's continue here. We were talking about Venezuela, and I don't know, was there more from your story?
Oh, yes. There's
what was the source
more.
Again on this?
NBC News.
NBC, all right.
So, again, they were talking about how high the inflation rate is, where the IMF predicts that it will hit 13,000% this year. You said you had a source saying 80,000?
Yeah, over 3 months.
Belkis Bolivar wandered around a local market near her home in downtown Caracas.
It's an unfortunate last name.
She headed for a shop. Well, no different than somebody here being named Dollar, which is an actual last name.
I've never met anybody with that last name. Have you?
I went to school with a guy whose last name was Dollar.
Really?
Yes.
All right.
Belkis Bolivar, again, wandering around a market. She headed for a shelf where just 3 days ago, a carton of eggs was marked at 480,000 Bolivar, about $14 US. She picked it up, believing it to be the same price. But the clerk told her the price had increased to more than what she could afford on her salary as an elementary school teacher.
It probably went up between the time she walked into the door and got to the aisle. I mean, the inflation's pretty crazy there.
The article says, luckily, her wage combined with her husband's still allows her to complete her weekly purchases.
For now.
She says, we have to buy as soon as we get our paycheck.
Yep.
We don't know if we'll be able to buy anything next week. Prices move fast. Within the same market, the price of meat, chicken, milk, and cheese had increased in the last few days. She says, less than a week ago, a kilo of meat was 340,000 Bolivar.
Okay.
Today, it's 380,000.
Wow.
So increased from 340 to 380. And these numbers are a lot less than what you mentioned in your article about
There was a type of ham that was 1 million bolivar for a kilogram.
Ruben Sosa, who runs the butcher shop, said many of her clients have eliminated meat from their diets completely, replacing it with plantain or yucca. She says people are now buying more scrap meat. Venezuela's crisis can be traced back to Chavez, who was elected in 1998 on a promise to share the country's oil wealth with the poor. He relied
Look how
heavily.
That worked out.
What's that?
I said, look how that worked out.
Yeah, he relied
now
heavily.
Everybody's poor.
Heavily on oil revenues to fund his 21st century socialism agenda, importing goods and selling them at subsidized prices to make things affordable. But when oil prices collapsed around 2014, Venezuela had little savings to fall back on. Since then, government has cut imports and used its small reserves to pay its foreign debt and to avoid default.
And you cannot sell products at a loss for very long. That is not going to keep you in business. And there was a story about the Barbie doll situation where I think it was Chavez or Maduro, I think, forced a company that had a bunch of dolls to sell those dolls below...
Socialism Barbie.
Right. So sell those dolls below cost. And, of course, they flew out the door, as you would expect them to do. But then the company didn't have enough money to buy another batch of dolls because they didn't make any profits on that. They actually lost money. So why are you going to stay in business if the government's going to come in? Why would you even try to continue to sell toys? If the government comes in and says to you, you've got to now sell all of this product at lower than the price you paid for it because we need to help the poor, well, you're going to close your doors.
But I'm the poor now.
You are now.
At the same time, years of excessive regulations have discouraged local production, leaving Venezuela even more dependent on imports. In 2003, the government created currency exchange control and became the sole administrator of American dollars. This created a currency black market where the price of a dollar hovers around 200,000 bolivar. As inflation spirals, some businesses have stopped changing their price tags. The manager of a small coffee shop in South Caracas,
it's too expensive to print out new price tags,
who declined to be identified, said the price of coffee changes every 3 or 4 days. Customers sometimes get angry with him.
Sorry,
he says, and he does his best to explain the situation. If the raw material surges, our prices have to increase. Standing at the door of his day job as a security guard at a pharmacy, Jonathan Marquez is tired. He's not slept well in 2 months since taking a second job, driving taxi on the weekend. He said on Saturdays he used to spend time with his family, but since I took the second job, I barely see them.
I'm just curious to know, what is it like as a taxi driver in Caracas? I mean, in a lot of cases with a taxi, you pay when you get to the destination. But you're dealing with people in Venezuela who don't have money, and many of them are more than happy to engage in criminal activity in order to facilitate continuing their life. So how many times are you going to have a ride and dash where somebody gets into your car and then doesn't pay you on the back end?
Oh, they probably have prepay.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. They imagine they're doing prepay, but can you imagine somebody paying with cash? Would you got to have a scale in the car with you to weigh bricks and bricks and bricks of cash just to take one person across town? I mean, talk about clumsy and difficult to do this. More coming up here in moments. It's Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynovite for help. Order a 90-day supply of Dynovite. Pick up 2 bottles of LicoChops, get the 3rd bottle free. New improved LicoChops with omega-6, omega-3, vitamin E, and now 6 extra direct-fed microbials. Even better for the digestive tract and immune system. And dogs love it. Try LicoChops. Buy 2, get 1 free. This is Henry Lukasevic for Dynovite.
DINOVITE.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees, ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
The warning signs.
At first, he made me feel special. He promised he'd look after me, provide for my future. He broke every promise he made.
Millions of Americans afflicted.
I was ready to leave, but he told me he'd change. So I gave him another chance. I was such a fool.
The consequences.
Things only got worse. He started making my decisions for me. About my job, my kids' education, my money, my safety, my future. He took away my choices, but I kept going back to the same politicians.
The diagnosis? Battered voter syndrome.
I fell for the same old lies. They were just playing with my emotions, telling me what I wanted to hear. That's not right.
If you're tired of the two-party system but want to support a principled Libertarian Party, check out the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire at lpnh.org. That's lpnh.org.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media, and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want, even in these remaining moments here. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom, 855-450-3733. Skype username is lrn.fm. And in the studio with you tonight, you've got Ian.
And Darryl.
Coming up this summer in the beautiful White Mountains of New Hampshire at Rogers Campground, which is the biggest campground in all of New Hampshire, and the place where we get the chance to go a couple times a year during the summer. And this is one of those occasions. It's Fork Fest. That's fork with an F. Fork Fest 2018. Technically the second year of this decentralized event that is so decentralized people don't even agree on its name. But on LRN.FM, we're calling it Fork Fest. You'll be joining liberty-minded voluntarists, anarchists, and libertarians. It's happening June 14th through June 18th. So 5 days in the woods in beautiful New Hampshire. Perfect excuse to come up here and check out this place that you've heard so much about here on the air on Free Talk Live. Check out New Hampshire and meet some of what could be your future neighbors, because there is the New Hampshire Freedom Migration going on, where libertarians and voluntarists from around the United States and around the world are converging in New Hampshire to make their efforts at trying to achieve liberty in our lifetime more effective. And ForkFest will be a decentralized event, meaning nobody is in charge of this event. We're talking about it because we have a radio show.
Yes.
Other people are going to be putting together different things that will be happening there. Jay Noon, who's a former co-host of ours, is getting married on that Sunday. Darryl, you're putting together a host of athletic trials and events.
Yes.
There's also, I don't know if there's officially a rave that's going to be announced for this year, but one happened last year. So I would say there's a chance that such a dance party will occur there. I don't want to say for sure because we don't know yet. Each individual gets to decide, do you want to just go and attend and camp and see what's going on, or do you want to create something? Do you want to create an experience for the people who are there doing something? You want speeches? Get a PA system? Put on some speeches. I know, I think Will Coley's interested in possibly renting the pavilion, so I called Rogers Campground today to get a quote on what that costs for Will. And so it's just everybody does what they think is best. In this case, you want to sell some food? Set up and sell some food. You don't have to ask anybody's permission. You don't have to acquire some sort of special vendor permit or ticket or anything like that. There are no tickets to ForkFest. There's no central authority to buy tickets from.
But there is camping.
There is camping.
Or hotels.
And it's a private piece of private property, so Rogers Campground will charge you to camp there, but that's the only cost that you will... Whatever travel costs it takes to get to Rogers, and then the staying costs at Rogers are the only costs. There's no ticket price for ForkFest. Now, of course, the event that follows ForkFest at Rogers Campground, which is called PorkFest, has been there for a long time. It is more centrally controlled and does have ticket prices, so keep that in mind. But if you want to attend both, obviously you can attend both. If your budget's tight, then ForkFest is certainly the more affordable option. Also will likely be the smaller option. It's only its second year, and I would say maybe 24 people or so were there last year.
And only one of those events is going to have a beer mile.
That would be yours.
Yes.
And that's during ForkFest. So if you want to learn more, you can go to forkfest.party. That's the website. That will link you to two different chats. There's the ForkFest chats on the Discord server that we talk about a lot here, discord.lrn.fm. There's a ForkFest Telegram chat room for those of you that are on the Telegram chat app. And then there's
the
also
forum.
The forum, that's correct. And the forum's a great place to go and do some more long-term planning rather than just chit-chat. So check them all out. All of them are linked to, plus an RSVP on liberty.menu. So there's events on liberty.menu, and so one of those is linked to there from forkfest.party, again, June 14th through the 18th here this summer in New Hampshire. We will look forward to seeing you there, because we plan to be broadcasting from the event. But we continue here. Darryl, you had a little more to share from Venezuela.
Yeah, so the story here from NBC News, they were talking about a few different people, following them on part of their day, and they mentioned someone
standing in line.
Yeah, someone standing in line, somebody hoping to buy a carton of eggs and then finding out that the price had increased and she didn't have the money.
Stores aren't even bothering to update prices on the shelf, probably just warning people, hey, look, it's going to be different by the time you get to the register.
Jonathan Marquez, who works as both a security guard and a taxi driver, says even with both salaries, he still struggles to feed his family. His weekly paycheck of 250,000 bolivars is only enough to buy
food. That's $1. 250,000. It's right now 217,000 bolivars per U.S. dollar. You're talking about $1 and change.
Yes.
Is his weekly pay.
He says he can either buy food or he can buy a bar of soap that costs 200,000 bolivars. He says we can either clean or we can eat.
That's a terrible choice.
He always picks food. And ends up mixing shampoo that was left over with water and uses the liquid as soap.
Wow.
Inside a pharmacy, Francisco de Castro, 75, is also facing a dilemma. Buy 1 or 2 boxes of medicine that he needs to treat his high blood pressure.
Oh, man.
With medicine growing scarce, de Castro hunts daily to find it. If he does, a box of 10 pills can cost more than his monthly pension. He stopped taking a whole pill every day months ago.
Yeah, I bet.
And instead has been splitting each pill into 4 pieces.
4. Wow.
That way, I feel like I take my treatment every day.
He's getting something.
Since cash is also scarce, it's not uncommon to find long lines throughout the city of people waiting to withdraw money. On average, ATMs allow the withdrawal of 10,000 bolivars per day, which can buy you 2 mint candies.
It's just crazy to even think that that's worth waiting for. But what else do you have to do?
Well, what else you have to do once night falls, people are seeking entertainment outside of the house. A movie ticket costs a third of the minimum wage without popcorn. A 3-course dinner may cost a 3-month salary.
Wow.
Inflation has also turned the nearly worthless boulevard into art and fashion items as people walk
making clothes
Avenida Los Ilustres in southwest Caracas. They may encounter Wilmer Rojas, a 26-year-old artist who tailors purses, wallets, and baskets by folding lower denomination currency. Rojas uses up to 1,000 bills to make a large purse.
Wow.
All those bills together don't buy much.
Nope.
A loaf of bread or maybe a cup of coffee at most. People even throw them away since nobody uses the small bills anymore. So,
yeah, sure.
A 5 Bolivar note in Venezuela is like a penny here. How many times do you see people just like throw pennies on the ground?
Sure.
That's what they do with the small currency.
We've got the 2 Bolivar note here on the wall in the studio. It's very pretty. It's got dolphins on it.
He says, "At least I found something to do, or rather something useful to do with the worthless bills."
It's tragic stuff.
Yeah.
And it's not getting any better anytime soon as long as the Maduro regime is in place. And they are sitting pretty for the moment. There were protests last year. I don't know what the status of those, you can't protest if you're starving. It's hard to lift a sign if you've exhausted all of your...
It's hard to make a sign when you don't have any money.
You can't afford cardboard. You can't afford a marker. But even if you did have a sign, you'd be exhausted within moments after arriving at... if you've lost 20 pounds in the last year...
and then 20 pounds the year prior.
Yeah, you don't have much weight left on your body to lose in, burning calories. You're going to be exhausted. You can't replenish calories. You can't be working out. You don't have any food to replenish your calories with.
Speaking of working out, what did you watch over my shoulder briefly yesterday?
I don't know.
Ninja Warrior.
The
Ninja Warrior USA versus the world. One of the guys representing Team Latin America was from Venezuela, and the announcers mentioned he left Venezuela because he could not properly feed himself or train.
I totally believe
that. So
he
moved to Mexico City and opened up a ninja gym.
It looked like, I thought it was in American Gladiators there for a moment. It kind of had that look to it with like the bigger-than-life set pieces and the timed events.
Right, and normally on American Ninja Warrior, when it's just American Ninja Warrior, they don't have the people wearing the costumes looking the same. But since it was USA versus the world, they wanted each team to be dressed the same.
Dude, the logo even looks like American Gladiators.
It kind of does.
It looks very similar. I wonder if the production crew is somehow the same. Sarah is going to grace us with her wisdom here in New Mexico. Go ahead, Sarah.
Yes, I'm surprised that New Mexico, our state, welcomed the self-driving automated cars because California rejected them.
Really?
Well, we have drunk drivers that go the wrong way on the freeway at 70 miles an hour. So we're going to need the self-driving cars more than the California.
Well, there's drunk drivers everywhere, and it's certainly true that this could be one of the benefits of self-driving cars is that you could, in theory, unless the police are able to outlaw being drunk in a car, if you're just a passenger, in theory, you should be able to get into a self-driving car and get out completely drunk. And, get in sober, get out drunk.
Right, but are you technically operating the self-driving car?
I don't know. That's a good question. That's what I'm saying. The police will definitely probably try to argue that you shouldn't be allowed to drink in a self-driving car. We'll see you tomorrow. freetalklive.com. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
Hi, this is Mark Edge of Free Talk Live. Michael W. Dean's book, User's Manual for the Human Experience, changed my life. In a culture that attempts to turn you into a compliant victim, this book gives you implementable steps on everything from how to be aware of your environment walking down the street to business, to how to handle a toxic person in your life. If you're a human, you need to read this book at least once. Go to Amazon and get the Kindle version, or paperback, or an audiobook of A User's Manual for the Human Experience.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
The latest episode of Declare Your Independence is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network, LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, March 14th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.60 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,326 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $20, and the average price of Bitcoin is $8,695. Antiwar.com reports after months of speculation that such a move was coming had all but died down, President Trump made a surprise move on Tuesday announcing the firing of Secretary of State Rex Tillerson. The announcement was made via Twitter, and Tillerson reportedly found out on Twitter. Trump said of the firing that he and Tillerson had different mindsets. Trump intends to replace him with CIA Director Mike Pompeo, about whom he said, "We have a similar thought process." The move is raising a lot of questions as to why. Indications are that the immediate cause was that Tillerson endorsed the idea that Russia was behind the poisoning of an ex-spy in Britain after the White House had already said they weren't going to accuse Russia for the incident. Tillerson did not just contradict the White House, but reporters said he made several other on-the-record comments about Russia during the flight back to the U.S. from his trip to Africa. Pompeo is seen as much less hostile towards Russia, and this is believed to be the driving force for the sacking. Not that it was a single-issue move, with Representative Nancy Pelosi of California going so far as to claim that Trump effectively fired Tillerson at the behest of Russian President Vladimir Putin. The change sets the stage for a State Department that's a bit more friendly towards Russia, however. But of course, that's not the only change. Pompeo and Tillerson differed on a lot of issues. Pompeo, in particular, is seen as very hawkish on Iran, which is leading the Israeli press to conclude that the Netanyahu government will be happy with the change. Pompeo is also seen as a lot more critical towards North Korea, as Tillerson was long inclined to diplomacy, earning multiple rebukes for it. With Trump heading towards direct talks with North Korea's Kim Jong-un, it's a bit surprising that Pompeo will be taking Tillerson's place, but that underscores how many intertwining issues are involved in this sort of replacement of a top U.S. diplomat. The importance of U.S. diplomatic stance on several issues is very important to overall U.S. military policy, and both Tillerson and Pompeo have their pet issues on which they are hawkish and at other times more inclined towards reasonable dialogue. While there is a tendency among analysts to try to settle on a specific conclusion of what such a big change means ahead of time, the reality is that the full impact of these changes is going to be impossible to predict for quite some time. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports House Democrats on Monday blocked a Republican-sponsored bill that would have allowed terminally ill patients to try experimental drug treatments that haven't been approved by the FDA. The Right to Try Act failed to get the two-thirds of the House vote it needed to move on to the Senate with a vote of 259 to 140. After the vote, Republicans blasted Democrats for preventing the bill from moving forward. The bill had its share of critics outside of the House chambers who said it failed to address the problems of gaining access to experimental treatments because it did not require the drug companies to allow those treatments to be accessed.
Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash has the ability to use both transparent and shielded transactions, with shielded transactions using zero-knowledge proofs. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zensystem.io. That's zensystem.io.
Reuters reports a former aide to New York Governor Andrew Cuomo was found guilty by a Manhattan jury on Tuesday of agreeing to take bribes from executives at two companies seeking to do business with the state government. The verdict against Joseph Percoco is the highest profile federal corruption conviction in New York since the 2015 convictions of two former leading state legislators, which were later overturned. Percoco's lawyers could not immediately be reached for comment. Cuomo, a Democrat, is up for re-election this year, and he has not been charged with any wrongdoing. Percoco was indicted on bribery and conspiracy charges in November 2016. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
After notifying students that there will be no awesome events happening on campus this weekend, Hamilton College Activity Board Coordinator Jessica Wilson from the class of 2015 spoke to Onion reporters about the disappointingly empty days ahead.
On behalf of the entire Campus Activities Board, I would like to truly apologize for failing to live up to the standards expected of us from everyone on campus. And the fact is, we let the school down.
Wilson said that while the board is usually proficient at booking plenty of cool events for all students to participate in, the upcoming weekend will have no interesting lectures, no wrestling match against Amherst, no acoustic coffee house, and no outdoor movie screening of Silver Linings Playbook.
We tried our best to organize a foam